wanna get to know ya. I wanna go far to the coast, yeah. I wanna drive fast to the ocean. I wanna know all of you. Yeah, blow around to the windows. I wanna have kids of my own, yeah. Live a life till it's over. But until we do, it's sleeping sooner. Yeah, I'm feeling a little crazy. Sat at home being lazy. Wanna travel till I'm 80, flying with you. Wanna take on the world and do something. Would you by my side like it's nothing? Wanna buy you things that you wanted. Wanna find you drop top without a choice, yeah. Hair blow around to the window, singing stupid noise with you. I just wanna get to know ya. I wanna go far to the coast, yeah. I wanna dive fast to the ocean. I wanna know all of you. Growing up like a ghost, yeah. I wanna have kids of my own, yeah. And live a life till it's over. But until we do, it's sleeping too long. So no, it's sleeping so no. It's sleeping so no.
Running back through my old life, but it leaves it burning. Speaking tongues in my head, yeah, that's the way you want it. She called me baby, you're not wasting time. But how could I let her go? Don't you know I might adore you? I'm gonna make the time move slower. We can do whatever, yeah, sun's out, make the clouds move over. We can do whatever, yeah. I'm gonna make the time move slower. We can do whatever, yeah. Sun's out, make the clouds move over. We can do whatever.
what it do, everybody? Welcome on back to the Aipx Gaming YouTube channel. We got some Rlcs Winter Cup action out of the SSA region. I am, of course, your boy Q. On the desk with me today, the homie Puma. How you feeling today, friend?
I am feeling just phenomenal right now. I'm very excited to see this roster really be able to really transform to what we've been expecting of them. Last split wasn't the best result that we wanted from them, but you know, it was the first one that everyone kind of got their feet wet together. So this one should be the one where everyone's able to take it off. But how do you feel about some of this competition? We have ATK, Astronics, and Mythic Esports in here. How do you feel about this bracket?
I gotta be honest, I'm really loving the bracket. I do think that when we look as far as kind of how the seeding set as far as for group stages for Aipx here, I think we almost got the benefit of a bad draw last event, because the only two losses that we saw Aipx take were to the top two teams in the region, right? We saw them drop to Limitless as well as the Orlando Pirates. And I would actually argue that even when you look back to last tournament, the only team that gave those two squads a better run than each other was Aipx Gaming. So I think because of that, because of where we're at in Group D, two teams that we've already seen from last event are right back here. And one of them we're actually starting with today, which is going to be Astronics. So for those of y'all who might remember us ending up group stage, which is actually the start of bracket stage, last event over here on the channel was actually against Astronics. It was a 5-game banger. And we got to remember that last event was the first event with the coach from last split, Shadowhunter, actually as an active player. I expect them to be a little bit better. I don't think it's going to go 5 games. I don't know if I'm going to say it's a sweep. I feel like that's not giving Astronic just enough credit, but I don't see this going past 4. But when we look about the rest of it, before we really dig into this next game, people might not be familiar with the name Mythic Esports, but that is the team Espionage that we had seen previously. They're under a new banner. And when we had seen Espionage in group stage last split, or last event, to put it lightly, it wasn't pretty for Espionage. So with that, again, with that being the first, and that was the first game, like out the gates, we saw Aipx Gaming just jumping right all over them, really dictating the pace. I'm expecting them to be able to do the same. The one that I was really looking forward to heading into the day, which is actually going to be the last game of group stage, that's ATK. Because of course, when we look at the rankings right now, as far as in the region, ATK is actually 3rd right now, based off of points, which is why they're higher up in the as far as in our group. But when we look at scrim results lately, and you know, take it for what it is, scrims are scrims, right? But recently, when these two teams have been facing off, 12-2 in advantage for the Aipx boys. So I want to say it looks very promising for a quick 3 series day, but I mean, this is Rocket League, who knows, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, you could get a little help from a friend over here in the bracket too. ATK, you know, I say this with any bracket. You can't take any series lightly. And it's same with Aipx. ATK has to do the same thing. If they drop one series before that final, it goes from a guaranteed top of the bracket win and in to maybe even if you beat Aipx, maybe if they go 2-1, it's just not enough to be able to put them at the top of the bracket. So you got to be careful for either of these two teams, Aipx and ATK. That series should be the end-all be-all win and in, but I'm just really excited for this entire bracket. It starts off a little bit, you know, as you said, with Astronic and then Mythic. Mythic, you kind of get to, you know, just relax a little bit more, be able to focus on your fundamentals before you really go after the Goliath and really make your statement on this region.
Yeah, and I think what's important is how you take game 2, right? Because again, I do anticipate that Astronic will put up a little bit of a fight, but I'm really confident in this roster from Aipx heading into our event today. Again, even though the standings might have Aipx right now tied with SRZ at 6th, when we look back at the results of how games played out during the last event there, as far as the Winter Open, I mean, it's hard to say that Aipx doesn't at least have an argument to say they could be that top 4 in the region. I'm thinking they're looking to prove that today. And I think as long as that game 2, you mentioned, you work on the fundamentals, even if you happen to go up big, like we saw them do last event, you just have to make sure that you're staying focused, because you don't want to come out slow against ATK. Because I almost feel like when we look at the Astronic game from bracket stage, where we saw Astronic take the first 2 games before the reverse sweep, I almost felt like there was a little bit of like hangover from the Limitless series, because that was kind of a tough series for the boys. Again, you know, their first time really facing them against the best competition in the region. I think they had a little slow start, which is why I expect them to really come out hot against Astronic to prove a point here.
I love that take. And one other thing I want to get your intake on is, if you finish the second to third in this region, no matter what, you'll be playing Group B, and that will be a given. Out of Group B, who do you want to see really fall into that region of like that second to third place? So if you're falling into there, who out of Group B would you want to play in the playoffs if you're in that scenario for a fourth game today?
I mean, so personally, I'm the type of person that having a plan B only distracts from plan A. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see the boys take home 3 quick ones. Otherwise, though, when we look at the group from Group B, I mean, obviously Orlando Pirates, I don't want to say very easily going to be at the top of the bracket, but it's hard to argue with past results, right? When you look at everyone else there, you figure as far as for Group D, second place would be playing Group B, third place. I would love SRZ to be there just because we're tied with them in the standings. I would love that to be a statement game to start off brackets, but that would mean SRZ would have to more than likely lose 2 of the series. And I don't know between Team Fusion and between Unity who would do that. I feel like though, again, I don't want to jump the gun, but I feel like if we were to get into that group state or into the bracket round and have to play in round 1, not get that bye, I'm feeling pretty confident regardless of who's across the pitch.
I'm loving that. And, that's kind of our job is to jump the gun a little bit. You got to talk about all the situations that come in.
Right.
And, with all of these different brackets, it's just a whole bunch of statements. As you said before, Limitless and Orlando Pirates, they're battling out number 1 and 2. They want to run away from the pack to be able to keep their spots into that wild card. But you also have the Wild Rabbit Gaming coming up on their rear here, leading in Group C. What can the White Rabbit Gaming, what do they really need to do to make that statement, to really take that next step, to be able to catch up a little bit more to Limitless and Orlando Pirates? The easy answer is always going to be take one of them down in the playoffs. But what can we expect from them today to really put themselves ahead of the rest of the competition?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because White Rabbit Gaming, I feel, is in a very similar situation to ATK, who is in our group, right? They're both sitting at that 42 points on the season, both sitting at that tied for third. I think White Rabbit has a similar game plan to ATK, which is to just try and really set the tone through group stage. I mean, especially when you look at the rest of their group. I mean, I don't want to write off Nixa. Obviously, when you look at them in the standings, 42 points, 41 points, they're no slubs. But I think for them, you just have to make sure that you get focused, you get through your group, because if you win your top of your group, you know that you've got Orlando Pirates in the semifinals. And I think that's where it starts, because whereas I had said for Aipx Gaming, where I think they are the eye test, the third best team in the region right now, when you look at the standings, obviously ATK, White Rabbit, they're tied at that 42 points. I would say mathematically, they're not quite out, whereas I think Aipx just might be on the outside looking in. Even if they had the best 2 results in these next 2, I think Orlando Pirates and Limitless would still be able to get enough points through their brackets to still be in that 1 and 2 spot. So I think for them, they need to make sure that you need to knock whoever you find in that semifinals out if you still want a chance at that wild card. So it all comes down to this event.
Yeah, I'm really liking that because, as you said, the future is now. You really can control your destiny with your result standings, and depending on who you're playing. So, running back to the last one, as you said, the only 2 teams to be able to take wins off of them were Limitless and the Orlando Pirates. So running it back, this could be completely different depending on how you played against those 2. You really need to take control of this now, especially if you get one of those matchups early on like you did against Pirates. Pirates you met in the quarterfinals. If you're able to find a chance like that again, you have to take full advantage of that. Knocking a team like that out in the quarterfinals is detrimental to their standings, and being able to really, reverse the script on them. Will it be enough, though, to go after Limitless and the Orlando Pirates currently? It's still too early to tell, and especially because we have a full day of Rocket League ahead. But especially in this invitational coming up, you have you have the Winter Cup right now that you need to focus on being able to get, and the Winter Invitational. It's going to be a fun day on the Winter Invitational as well. I already think the Winter Cup is going to be extremely fun across the board. I think some of these brackets are in for some surprises. I don't want to reveal all of my cards just yet, though.
Yeah.
The entirety of this event, I feel like, is going to be just like an upscale for the Invitational, which will be in 2 weeks, I believe. I always mix that one up.
Yeah, believe that sounds about right, if I'm not mistaken. But one that is right. So one, I'm the little birdie in my ear told me. But one thing that's interesting while we're kind of talking about the hype through this event, because you had mentioned even for the boys here from Aipx, like if you happen to cross one of those two giants, Limitless or Orlando Pirates, and I believe we would have the chance to potentially cross against either of them. Well, we have the potential to cross Limitless, but that'd be if we don't have that great of a group standings. We would be able to see them in the quarterfinals. And again, I just don't see Aipx performing that low, but who knows? At least you might still have that as a bonus. Hey, we didn't perform good during the group stage, but let's take down a giant and still prove everyone wrong. But if we see, obviously, the squad go through in the first place standings, either way, they're still going to see Limitless again. It's just that I was mistaken. I said earlier, I think I said Orlando Pirates. They would be seeing Limitless in the semis, which will be a good redemption match, I think, because I feel like Limitless, when we looked at the game and we even talked about it a little bit offline, the production crew afterwards, I think if the Limitless series was a 7-game series instead of a 5-game series, I think you would have seen Aipx take 1 or 2. I feel like the Aipx squad started to figure out, figure out the game plan, what was going to work, what they needed to do to kind of break, chip away at the armor of Limitless. And they've had some time to, kind of put things together on their roster and with that game plan as well. So I'm really excited.
Absolutely. And going back to that type of format, being able to have it in a 7-game series, you saw Aipx being able to figure out other teams like that. They really played Pirates very well last time. The scorelines, don't ignore it being 4-1 overall.
Right.
Just listen to these score lines: 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 overtime, 3-2 overtime, 2-1 overtime. These are all 1-goal games that really have the sway of just one bad bounce that can completely change the trajectory of that entire last event. So even though it was 4-1, and then even with, the 5-game series that you had against Limitless, the first one wasn't the best, so we won't even mention that one. That one was kind of just like...
It was the outlier, though, right? Like, you look at the rest of it, and you play them tight.
Yeah, and you always have one extreme outlier in everything. So out of the, I believe, what is that, 5, 8, out of the 8 games you played against the top 2, only one of them was more than a 2-goal deficit. So, this, even in games 2 and 3, it was 4-2 and 1-0. You played them pretty tight as well. And I believe, if memory strikes me, it was 3-2 until late into that game, where you have to, put yourself in risky situations. Right. So you tried giving yourself that chance. So with all of these teams, you're really standing toe-to-toe with them. And today is a huge statement day for if you want to take that next step, you have to grab that next step. You have to take it. This is yours for the taking. You have to throw that first punch. You can't allow this to be a boxing match where it's going back and forth. You have to come out swinging from the get-go.
Yeah, and I think especially, too, because you had mentioned, so the one game, the 2-goal differential as far as the Limitless, you're overextending. And then the 1-2-0 game that was against Orlando Pirates, if I'm not mistaken, one of those goals was on like a funny like kickoff that went wrong. And it was like one of those weird goals that goes in that like no one's expecting. So when you think about that, that's all of those games realistically being that 1-goal game against 2 teams that I think most people within the rankings would consider the juggernauts in SSA. Aipx showed that they are getting there. And again, that was the first time with this full roster together. And, as far as obviously with bringing Shadowhunter onto the roster from the coach position. But, and we had questions. I don't think anyone really had like big questions about Shadowhunter going into the last event. We just kind of talked about it a little bit because obviously being the new player, but Shadowhunter became one of those names that we talked about quite a bit over the course of that last game. So, I think we still had all 3 boys here now at this point. There was some talks earlier about maybe potentially having a little bit of internet issues with one, but it looks like I think we have all 3 in the lobby. So I think, right here, looking at this game, I'm really watching for Aipx Gaming, what they looked in there, when they looked to be like really in their kill mode in that Winter Open was when they're dictating the pace. They're playing fast, they're playing aggressive, because when they're playing aggressive, they're still really good about rotating back quickly, specifically Shadowhunter, who just seems to be a little bit quicker than everyone in the region.
Absolutely. And you mentioned what I was actually going to bring up for my next point was, there was a couple of different people who came on and this team really first started last split or at the start of this split. And now that they're really getting together, is there any one player that we should be watching more than a little bit others to take that next step? You mentioned a little bit about Shadow Hunter, but is that going to be the biggest one that they need to take to be able to become that top team in the region? Who needs to really step up out of this group?
It's interesting, right? Because I feel like when you think of Aipx over the course of this year, synonymously, you see, especially when you look at the highlights, Black Star Original, they're putting up a lot of points, but we did see Shadow Hunter come up really big. So I think that's kind of like one of those weird questions because I think Shadow Hunter is one of those players that when they're in their zone, might even be one of those that's like best in the region and was just kind of, enjoying the time in that coaching role. And if people just kind of forgot, right? So I don't want to say that they need to step up because I think if they're in their game, they're going to really help lead the charge on this squad. But I think what's most important is on the side of Black Star and Original, as you just need to make sure that their dynamic duo, like their chemistry is together. Because when they're in sync, man, it's a thing of beauty.
Oh, I always love those team passing plays to always be able to articulate some beauty onto the field, being able to just make some magic happen. I'm really excited about this first series, and I tossed that first question about Aipx, but on the side of Astronic here, is there any one player that you're sitting here watching forward and just like this is someone we need to shut down, make sure that they cannot get going, or else that will be they're kind of the downfall of this?
I'm trying to remember back. I feel like when we saw Astronic last time, I don't know if they really had a standout player. I think they're just one of those squads that's like a very well-oiled machine. I feel like I remember calling Strudic's name a lot. So it's one of those where I don't know if as long as they're in their bag and leading from the front, the squad's together and the cohesion. So maybe that's the deal. For some reason, the other two names that are on the roster don't ring a bell to me. I'm not sure if they were on the roster. No, they're on the roster. Yeah, maybe. I guess I just don't remember them as much as Strudic. So I guess Strudic is going to be the one I'm looking out for.
All right, with about 4 minutes to go before this first game is going to be kicking away, we are very excited across the entire board about this entire bracket. The stars are kind of aligning right now for Aipx to take that next step. You have to, first take down ATK, who, you're, I believe, equal with the point standings right now, and I think they have like 12 more, something like that.
Yeah, ATK has 12 more, yeah.
Gotcha. You're able to really take them down a peg. You force their way into this bracket. If you really want to start clawing into this now, right now, you have to win this bracket. This bracket is going to be the biggest decider of how you move forward. If you're able to take them down, get into the playoffs right away, beautiful, great. You've already put yourself one step ahead of everyone else. But say if you have to play yourself in, now it gets a little bit more interesting, as we talked about. You could go up against Limitless Future, you could go against the Orlando Future, but this, as you alluded to a little bit earlier, this right here, this cup is going to really decide how not only Aipx, really forms herself into this region, but how does the rest of the standings fall? Because this feels like this can be Aipex's, really stand out split right now, this cup invitational, and it can really shake up the standings for everyone else. So there could be some major tidal wave changes coming in and really knocking around these standings.
Yeah, I think that's a really good observation, especially because I think for a while now, even though you've had teams like ATK, White Rabbit, Nixa, who have kind of been like that first three after the top two that have I don't want to say really pulled away from the pack, but when you look at the points, there is a separation there for a reason, right? But the way that these brackets look, there's a good chance, especially if Aipx works their magic, you can get some of them in the lower, point earning standings, right? We're talking maybe not so much those 9 through 16th, but even if you get teams down into that 5 through 8th, and then you finish with a, let's say, top 4, or even let's say you pull off a surprise in the semifinals, right? You get into that top 2. That's a big point difference to be able to move up towards that third place position, which I really feel Aipx deserves to be in right now.
Absolutely. It can range from anywhere between a 7 through even up to an 11-point swing and really make this very interesting going into the Invitational. But, also moving forward, as this roster is still very young together, they just started about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. The rest of the seasons are going to be very interesting to see. They're already getting their feet wet, and this Winter Cup and Winter Invitational is going to be a lot of fun. It looks like we're getting everyone into the test lobby right now. Everyone seems to be having no connection issues. But
yeah,
one
we should
thing
be in here in just a moment or so.
Yeah, one thing I will say as well is keep your eye on Nuke. Nuke has been a great player, but one thing that I have overheard is he might not be on his original setup here. So it might, the setup should be fine, but, it's always not the same as playing on your original setup.
Yeah, I mean, it's, when you switch to a laptop, even if it's a gaming laptop, it's you gotta hope everything's running fine. You do also have to remember, though, I had kind of touched on very briefly, one of our players might be having some internet issues, even though they are in there now. So both teams kind of maybe working against working with things against their favor, I guess would be the best way of saying it here. But I feel like you're kind of talking about the mix-up that can happen in this bracket. One of those teams being ATK, right? And we know that ATK is at the end of group stages waiting for us, and more than likely going to be sitting at least 1-1, maybe 2-0. And the reason I say maybe 1-1 is because I do think Astronic showed some fight during the last event. So obviously Astronic at some point will be playing ATK as well, which then puts you into that point where if ATK ends up going down in that, will that be like that 9 through 12 range? They're going to be dropping from third. You can close that gap, maybe even seeing White Rabbit getting caught with an upset. There's a lot of changes that could be happening. I think what's most important, if you want to put that pressure onto ATK, it has to start with Astronic. And if there's anything that we learned about from Astronic, is that they like to start early. So we need to start hot and heavy.
Absolutely. You cannot allow other teams to set the pace. You have to keep playing to your pace. It's going to be interesting to see how this team really comes out, especially on the first game of the day. That one always has the most room for error. You never want to just come out and just kind of limp your way into the fight. You want to be able to come out, just keep swinging, kind of what you alluded to with Mythic, who had just formally rebranded, but they came out a little bit more than swinging. It was, they fell flat. I mean, Espionage at the time fell flat, but I think I wonder though if that's one of those situations where if they weren't anticipating the pace and then they just kind of fell behind, we're going to be able to see this, but it looks like we will be going into our first game of the day, Aipx versus Astronic. I'm very excited for this one. And,
wait, Puma.
Yeah.
I don't think we got this covered before we get in this game. How many, before we actually jump in, how many games are you expecting here in our first series?
3. I want it to be a clean sweep. I want a clean sweep here. I want Aipx to take this one early. I want them to jump on top, really put Astronic into a difficult position to come back. If you're able to set that tone of pace and set that worrisome into them early on, you're going to be able to just force your way into making more errors. So I really want them to just come out swinging and set a tone and make everyone look at that and just be like, oh boy, Aipx is looking a lot different this split.
Yeah, I think, when we talked about how the team was able to even figure out teams like Orlando Pirates, like Limitless in their games, right? And then the fact that they went 5, the last couple of games, they did look pretty dominant. And let's not forget, that was a couple of weeks ago. More time for this new set of 3 with the addition of Shadowhunter to be able to really turn things up. I think they want to prove a point. Let's go ahead and get down to it. Game number 1 here to kick off the Rlcs Winter Cup here in the SSA region. We are going to be seeing Aipx Gaming in that blue side. We're going to be seeing Astronic on the orange. You're going to be seeing Original, I thought was going to be trying to push that pace, trying to get that thing into the offensive zone. Does look like they might have an opportunity here now to at least push it up into the Astronic. You got it at least hanging down in front of the goal, but not able to get that second touch. But Shadow, we had mentioned before, always so good about rotating back quickly, able to at least get the first touch, not to allow a very quick rotation back into the defensive zone.
Absolutely, and just a nice touch over from Blackstar to be able to just put this one into the corner, be able to take a little bit of this pressure off of them. Aipx, they're really setting up early down low, trying to get anything going. Working their way out of the corner here is Shadow, but stuffed up by Astronic. But next one up, it will be Aipx, who will be able to just keep this one in. Blackstar once again on the ball, a great 50 back into the corner. And right now, early on, we're seeing Astronics really have to do dirty work in the corners to be able to get these clears. They haven't had a really long offensive possession on Astronics side, which is crazy to say in a minute, but, you know, it could be alluding to what's going to be happening, you know, throughout this game.
Yeah, you know, Puma, this is what I was really looking for Aipx to do, right? Really come out, try and dictate this pace. Of course, as I say that, we see quickly pushing up into the zone, but able to at least turn things over very quickly. I thought might be able to push things forward. That's going to be just right of the post, but now getting back into that control as far as onto the Aipx side here. You can say just really playing aggressive, even going for those extra bumps in the air to try and, if, at minimum, if you're not getting a nose on the ball, you're at least doing something to deter the offense from Astronic here. But we're really seeing this tug of war now. We're becoming into this midfield of the pitch. I mean, neither team really able to seize control. I really like seeing the defense coming up right now from Aipx, but I want to see them turn it up into offense.
One more? One more?
There it is. Let's go.
You know what they say, third time's the charm. You hit the post twice, and the third player is going to step up big here. Blackstar, a great pass over to Shadow, just slots this one home. Aipx going to start off on the right foot and take this 1-0 lead 2 minutes into game number 1.
There it is, starting the pace, and you get the first one. Can you go ahead and double it up? We saw a little bit of a quick bump from both sides as far as in the middle. Not really able to get full control just quite yet. Hanging on board with Blackstar here. Able to get a touch off the back wall, but not really able to get full control of it just quite yet. But you can see no one really on the side of Astronic is able to really push out of the defensive zone just quite yet. Blackstar and company really doing a good job, even when they're rotating back. They're doing a good job of getting these touches on the ball before they even hit that midfield line. And good job here by Blackstar to be able to knock that thing out of the goal.
Absolutely, and one thing to really note is Astronics, they've had maybe one, maybe two good offensive pressures as this one's ringing off the bar. This one's still in danger territory, but taken away. But Astronics hasn't set up themselves in a great scoring offense just quite yet. They've just been trying to get it out of their own half, and now just working their way back out once again. It looks like they might be able to capitalize on this transitional game, but once again, another double commit coming out, and that's going to be something to keep an eye on for Astronics. They've been double committing often.
Yeah, I think part of the double commit that we're seeing is because they're trying to really dictate this pace back. As we're talking about it, though, nice shot from Specs with the equalizer. There's 1 minute and 49 seconds left to play here, though. The good news for you, if you're Aipx, you put the first one on the board, right? So that just evens things back up.
Absolutely, and if you're moving into this next one, Aipx, you gotta have a great kickoff here. You can't let Astronics get really back into this one, as this is gonna go into your corner. Able to steal the boost as Astronics team, but put out into the mid pitch once again. Just stolen by Specs, as Specs is working their way down low. Cut through one, the shot on net by Strudic, as they're gonna be able to take another one and flip the script. Once down 1-0, now up 2-1.
And there it is. You had asked me before the series who I was going to be looking for, and it was Strudic, now able to put them up very quickly after the equalizer here. And now Aipx playing from behind, and time not on your side. 95 seconds here, and you're not able to win the kickoff right off the bat here. So you are now going to be retreating into that defensive zone where it really seemed like Aipx was able to push the pace early. It seems like Astronics really been able to flip the script, and it's really put the Aipx squad on their heels. But as I say that, Original puts that at least towards the goal. A second touch by Blackstar doesn't allow the full clear, but it does look like Strudic should. Oh no, actually gets interrupted here, and that's going to allow Aipx to keep their offensive drive alive.
Absolutely, in the offensive zone, this one a little bit wide. The second follow-up, once again, Shadow, a beautiful shot, a beautiful goal, and similar to their first one, everyone getting a hand of this one, as this just put off the sidewall, makes the defenders just a little bit antsy. They can't anticipate where it's going to go, and evening this one back at 2 apiece with a minute to go.
You'll love to see it here, and now this kickoff being really we're going to take ourselves a quick break here, chat. I think we might have a technical pause here going on. But yeah, 1 minute and 4 seconds left, tied up at 2. We expected this to be a good game. I was hoping the boys were going to be able to come out swinging, but Astronic showing they're here to fight.
Absolutely. And, hopefully it wasn't too hard of a celebration and they just, just let's go and actually threw the controller. But it looks like we will be going back to game shortly. So it sounds like it was just a quick tech issue. So we're good now. We're going to be able to go back into this one. But at 2 apiece, this one really becoming a punching match, going back and forth, trading tit for tat as this one gets floated to the Aipx side. Once again, a shot coming in. The follow-up is just going to be high, a chance for a waterfall, but Original able to just get this one out to the mid pitch, and another 50 is just going to take away that dangerous opportunity.
Yeah, good job on the 50 to at least be able to get the contest, not allow a free pass right up towards the goal. But you can see Astronic doing a good job keeping that pressure in the offensive zone, at least for now. Shudik's going to be able to turn some defense, trying to turn it into offense, but at least for now, Shadow going the opposite way, pulling things in. I thought was going to be able to keep that control, but even still, balls in the defensive zone here as far as on the side for Astronic. You can even see allowing players to get their noses on it. You got one player sitting right in the back of the goal. Shadow's going to drop that down, and Shadow now has, wait, that's not a hat trick, but that's still 3-2.
I believe that is a hat trick.
No,
that would be his third, a beautiful teardropper into the corner. The bounce shot puts it under one and over the other. A beautiful placement on that one. And now retaking this lead with 16 seconds remain as they're trying to push the pace back into the zone. A shot opportunity comes off the sidewall. The shot, he shoots, he scores, ring his name again. That is Shadow with his 4th goal of this game.
No, just let him eat it up here. If it wasn't for sure when you get the lead, let's go ahead and make it 2. And now we have got 10 seconds left, and I think we are going to be seeing Aipx Gaming here taking game number 1, which is huge when we look back to the brackets series that we had to start things off in that winter open. It was Astronic who took the first 2 before the reverse sweep. Does this potentially mean that Aipx has already been able to put together the equation to walk away with a sweep? We're going to have to wait and see, but we know they're at least off to a good start.
Absolutely, and if you ever want to put together a sweep, it all starts with game number 1, able to get a nice save there to really end that one, which could, it wouldn't have affected this match game, but it could have affected the tone of the series after scoring a goal like that. But, but as you move forward, you're taking that first step to the sweep. You got 2 more to go. Aipx, they're putting themselves in shots. The right side. Absolutely beautiful, just all around, and just look at Shadow right now. Again, just 647 points, which is almost as much as their top and bottom combined on Astronics. Just doing it all, just getting all the shots in. But that would not be possible for Laxar and Original, but just putting some beautiful touches on those back walls.
Puma, look at this too. Look who had the least amount of ball touches. So did the most with the least amount of opportunities. Shadow. 4 goals on 5 shots, only touched the ball 35 times. That's some like Klay Thompson type stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and one thing I do want to allude to as well is, Nuke coming in at just 140. This could be just because, they're really adjusting to this laptop. And I talked about it a little bit before. Just not having that original setup is just, it throws you off of your game just a little bit. So sure, they have a nice laptop that's able to run it, but are they handicapping themselves right now? And right now, after game number 1, it kind of looks like they are.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes you gotta fight with what sometimes you can only deal with the chips that you are dealt. We did see Astronic though. They're in that middle 2.5 minutes though. Really seemed to close the gap. I'm not sure if there was a little bit of letting the pedal off the metal on the side of Aipx, or if we just saw Astronic really surging, but saw Astronic at least able to put something towards the goal to start off game number 2. They're playing aggressive. They're playing fast, really trying to push this pace up in the front. You can't help but wonder if maybe we might see one of the players from Aipx come up with a huge counter and find that opening in the defensive zone.
And Astronics, almost a beautiful play, just the team all coming together, just inches off from getting that shot on, but it keeps the defense on their heels here as Aipx trying to get out. A huge redirect at the mid-pitch, but not able to get on the first one. The second shot off the crossbar, a big save by Specs to keep this one even early on.
Yeah, I thought that was going to go in. Good defense we see coming in from Astronic, but right now, I love seeing the pace back again from Aipx. They're at their best when they're dictating that. Now, Strudek's going to at least be able to interrupt a quick push as far as attempt from the side of Aipx. This time, though, Shadow going to be able to get the full boost here. Are they going to be able to bully boy their way up? No, it is going to be Lackstar, though, that gets control out of the corner. Nice job as far as when the defense gets the second touch, and we're going to see Specs actually gets it from distance.
Yeah, just a beautiful read by Specs, just seeing this third just creep up a little too much, trying to get that shot on. The redirect, though, by Astronics on that back wall, just to be able to get this one a little bit too far behind Aipx. A beautiful job there by Astronics to really come out here, erase their demons from the past, and start off at 1-0 here. A second opportunity, just sends it to the corner, though. The next one there is Stradic, who goes up high, looking for the double tap, doesn't have enough, though. A good clear here by Aipx, and the counterattack coming down, a one-on-one opportunity, but Astronics is coming up huge on the defensive side once again.
We're going to be seeing here, I mean, just doing a good job, really playing Aipex's game, but better so far this time in game number 2, dictating the pace. Now actually going to be able to prevent the offense from getting started, but right now, Original might be able to move their way in, at least, yeah, get a second touch there, moving things towards the goal. But the defense in from Astronic, really holding tough thus far. That's going to be a touch and a shot, but a beautiful save as well from the side of Aipx. I'm not actually sure who that was that came in with the save, but regardless, still from the side of Astronic, they're trying to see if they can put pressure. The defense starting to step up for Aipx. That's going to be shot off the back wall. Is anyone there to follow up? Oh, but a big save as well from Astronic. Wow.
Just a beautiful save once again. But if these are the saves that you're going to make Astronic do time and time again, I'm liking the chances here from Aipx as this one gets floated in. Next one up is going to be Astronics' team once again as another shot coming in. A big save on the goal line by Aipx. A big demo here allows Shadow to just get a little bit of momentum, working with no boost, but the 50 is going to go over to the corner where Original is lurking. They're trying to get the 50, able to get it once, back into the middle. The second shot not good as Astronic is just trying to get it out, but a little too far. Shadow with a shot. The demo is going to be able to get this one in. Shadow, a great goal, but an even better demo by, I believe this was Original, who just goes headhunting here.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful job, and I believe that was actually, it looks like Lackstar coming in, playing aggressive, leading the charge like a fullback, taking out the defense, and it just made it look so easy. We are going to see Aipx is going to be able to get a little bit of control off the kickoff here, not going to be able to win the contest that is in the offensive zone here, but Shadow, we talked about earlier, a very fast player, probably one of the fastest in the region, did such a good job getting back, now taking control into the corner here. Unfortunately, wasn't able to maintain control completely, but the defense right now from Astronic seems to be playing on their heels. The question is, can Lackstar get a touch and at least keep control? Looks like at least for now, second touch is going to be a pass. That's going to be a shot from Original, and the boys from Aipx are now up by 1.
Just a phenomenal job once again by Lackstar. Just beautiful on the nose to Original here, and all Original has to do is just get a lot of power behind it, and job done. Able to get a second goal, the last two going to Aipx here, but they gotta keep this one going. You can't allow a quick counterattack as this one comes all the way back down as Stradic is just keeping this one at striking distance.
You got the script over there, or what's going on here?
I don't know.
I feel like you just predicted that. So, but that is unfortunate though that we can see the equalizer. There is still 1 minute and 40 seconds here left, so plenty of play. 100 seconds in total here. Original going to try and get control out of the corner. Is going to get contested by Nuke, who does a great job interrupting. Gets the second touch, leaves that in the front. Specs though, unfortunately not able to come up with the touch. That would have been a wide open net. Shadow sends things across the way, but we do see that defense yet again from Astronic really coming in with those big touches. That's going to be a shot on goal off the top post though, coming in close. Aipx putting in the pressure this time from Lackstar, and that's going to find the back of the net.
Everyone having a hand in the scoring this time around as Original puts this one over to a beautiful shot by Lackstar, but also just demoing the last person who could have made an effort there. So demoing Specs on the back end as well, just a great heads up play. And I'm liking this physicality that Aipx is really giving out here. They're really making sure that, you know, Astronics cannot settle into these opportunities, as this one is just off the post once again. And the fourth defender rings 10 bells on that save.
And man, you do see the Astronic does feel the pressure. They're going to try and see if they can push defense into offense here. Original gets that second touch off the wall. Lackstar going to at least keep these going. That's going to come off the back wall. Is there a player to follow up? It does go just a tad bit high, but you see the defense has already been able to rotate back here as far as from the squad of Aipx, which is huge because you're able to get control once again. Can Strudic get the interruption? Does look like so. If Specs can turn the pace here, this could be huge for Astronic.
Absolutely, as Aipx just trying to kill some time here. 24 seconds remain. The pass to the infield, the double touch not online. The shot save made on the goal line. The counter attack shot is just going to be a little bit wide as Original takes it over to the corner as gets around Specs, but Specs with a great touch back to the middle. This one a little bit wide. 6 seconds remain. A great 50 there as they're all racing to get to this one on the ground. Just put into the corner. One last goal opportunity as this one dies on the goal line. Just able to just take defense to offense, and if he had, just even a second longer, you would have been able to double.
They know that was in. They know it was in. No, but look at these stat lines here. I mean, look at the shot output from Aipx here. That's 13 shots on the side of Aipx to only 5 on the side of Astronic. Now, the one thing that does concern me just a little bit, that's a decent conversion rate on the side of Astronic compared to Aipx, but hey, you're able to keep the pace. You're able to get game number 2. The question is, does Aipx pull off the sweep that you and I thought we were going to see?
You asked me earlier if I had the script, and that's why I couldn't mention it earlier, because I had originally pulled it out to make sure that I read it right, that Aipx takes it in 3. We are 1 game away here from me just being able to read correctly. Sometimes I do have a little bit of trouble with that, but that's an issue for, that's a topic for another day.
But man, going into game 3 here for Aipx, you gotta be feeling good. Right now on the side of Astronic, they gotta be feeling the pressure. But one thing that I hope the boys from Aipx have in the back of their mind, this is literally deja vu all over again. It's just the roles are reversed from the bracket stage from our last event. We did see Astronic take those first 2 games, and Aipx was able to pull off the reverse sweep. So I think it's important here in these first 90 seconds, we have to be able to see the squad here keep that pace and really dictate the tone.
Absolutely. You cannot let Astronics get even. You don't want them to get that lead once again, just because you saw how fast they were playing right at the start of it and able to kind of set that tone, and you had to reset that momentum. As Astronics is going to win this one, as Specs on the sidewall has the boost to work with. The shot opportunity is just turned away by the Aipx defense once again. A great job there, trying to turn defense to offense, but a great 50 as well by Astronics, just going to put this all the way back. And with the start of this one, we're playing a lot of pogo, just going back and forth. It's going to really be whoever gets this first opportunity, as the 2-on-1 flips it to the middle. A diving save is just going to keep this one out.
It keeps it away for now, but you do like to see at least again that pressure coming in right now from Aipx. They're dictating the tone. Nice hit here from Blackstar to at least keep things up in the Astronic side of the pitch. That is going to be a foot onto the goal from Shadow. Unfortunately, just a tad bit wide. Now maintaining that pressure. Original, though, gets that off the top post, followed up by Blackstar, and that's going to be the first goal of the game. Only took 49 seconds.
And this is where communication is key. You could see that Original was originally going to go for that, but Laxar calls him off that he has the better angle, and you don't want to force a bad shot from there. And Original just immediately peels off. A great job there by the team and the communication to be able to keep this one and just take this lead here 1-0 as Laxar puts this over to the middle, back to Original, as Original's going to race this one down. Doesn't have a lot of boost to work with, but a beautiful touch to the mid pitch as it forces once again another double commit from Astronics, and that is the song we've been singing all of the series.
Yeah, and we see here just, I mean, even quickly turning defense, able to get a quick push up. I thought might be able to follow it up off the back wall. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do so. But as for now, we're going to see Astronic trying to push it out into that Aipx side of the pitch. But man, that defense playing even up as far as even into, I would say, the Astronic third of the pitch. I mean, they're just playing really aggressive here, even with the 2-game lead. You love to see it.
Absolutely, as Astronics just trying to turn this one into a scoring opportunity, but stuffed out once again. A great fake there to the flip, but Original is going to just take that one away, trying to get the boost, but taken off of it, but has the heads-up play to just flip this one in. Shadow with the redirect opportunity, but still taken away by Astronics' defense once again. Could not see who got the piece of that one, as two defenders, go up. It does stay out of the net as the team bump, the scramble in front of the net just takes it away, and, just giving us ourselves a little bit of a heart attack. This is Rocket League, and not everything's going to be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it doesn't matter how good it looks as long as the result's the same. You know what I mean? So as for now, you're still looking at a 1-0 lead for Aipx. You're now almost at that halfway point, so you got to be feeling at least a little bit better. You'd feel better with another goal or two. Shadow's going to be able to at least get the touch, pushes it up into the corner. I believe that was Black Star, I believe. No, it's actually Original who came off trying to send it across, but nobody was there. You can see Black Star pushes up in the backfield. Shadow's coming in, drops it off, but good defense once again, but I think actually Shadow was able to get a bump on somebody coming in, and Original's able to follow that up. Let's watch this replay, because I think when Shadow comes in here, gets the bump, which clears the way for Original. That's huge.
I believe it was Lackstar who got that bump to be able to put that one up. They had gone up.
You are right, correct.
It was just a beautiful play by everyone. Got a hand in that one too, though, as another shot opportunity comes in and just turned away once again. A diving stop as the 50 by Lackstar just going to take this one down. But everyone's getting a hand in these goals, and that's what you really want to see from a team that is trying to get to this top level. Everyone needs a piece of this. It can be solo effort sometimes, like you see from Specs, who is just able to push this pace themselves. But like a team like Aipx, everyone's getting pieces in, as Specs, they follow up on just a missed touch, able to put this one a little bit more interesting with 157 remaining.
Yeah, at least makes things a little bit more interesting, but you did give yourself that 2-goal cushion. It's still 2 minutes left, though. 120 seconds is a long time in Rocket League, but Shadow able to go the distance and able to build that buffer of a 2-goal deficit, or 2-goal lead, sorry.
Yeah, just re-putting it there, just able to take that lead and double it up once again. You want to have at least that insurance goal, especially into this back half, and more importantly, it deflates everything Astronic just built there off of that first mistouch. Being able to erase something like that in 7 seconds, as this one just floats across the goal line, no one's home to be able to take this one to bed, but, just puts it off once again, as now Aipx is scrambling to get this one back in. A great flick in there, a great 50 as well is going to just open up a little bit more opportunities, but Aipx has been doing a great job just stuffing out the opportunities from Aipx, as another shot comes in, as Latstar is just going to get another goal and be able to just increase this lead further.
Yeah, and I think part of what we're seeing here is a little bit of that urgency on the side of Astronic, right? Kind of getting themselves, trying to play a little bit more aggressive than their pace is used to, create some of those openings. But I also think what we're seeing right now is Aipx really trying to prove a point, looking to try and go for this sweep here. 3-goal lead with only 80 seconds left. Astronic needs a goal quickly, looking to find one here, and Specs does just, or Strudic does just that. Specs does just that.
They're lurking just far enough away, but the solo efforts by Strudic here is just keeping them alive and making sure that they're still in striking distance. That's the second time that a solo effort goal has been able to cash in for them. And now with just 2 goals, a 2-goal swing is a little bit more feasible with a minute left, as Aipx just trying to work this out of their corner. They have to get this one out quickly, as the demo's going to be, coming in. But Astronic turning defense back to the offense, gets this at the mid-pitch, the shot on goal, a huge diving stop coming in out of virtually nowhere, takes that first one away. A huge clear here is going to let Aipx just have some breathing room.
Yeah, it gives you some breathing room, but now you can see trying to quickly switch the pace was Specs. Snoop trying to get a second touch over here as well, but we do see the defense yet again from Aipx really standing tall, standing firm, even after the shot from Strudic this time around. Another beautiful save, another shot going to get launched, but nothing's going to be able to find the back of the net. You can even see this time around, though, as I say it, I think it might be a caster's curse. I'm so sorry, boys. That's going to be a 3rd goal for Astronic. They're now down 1 with just 24 seconds left.
Yep, and it's all going to depend on how this kickoff goes. You want to be able to win this kickoff and be able to push the pace quickly onto this first one. As the kickoff is underway, it's a neutral kickoff. Specs is going to be able to tie this one up at the mid-pitch, and now Astronix pushes the pace down low. 17 ticks remain as Original tries to get this one out, but is demoed. A huge 50 here, and as Strudic can turn, they had an opportunity, but the boost didn't spawn in time, so they have to take their time. 6 seconds remain. A deep clear here, but Strudix is there once again, just floats this one to the middle, and a huge beat there is going to die on the goal line at the same spot as game number 2. A great job by Aipx Gaming.
Wow, able to walk away with the sweep, and twice of the 3 games, ending it with a last-second dropping the ball on the goal line. A little extra salt in the wounds. You know, I know we're kind of friends with the boys over in Astronic. We were kind of, chatting a little bit back and forth before this series, but man, the three games just looked really, really good from Aipx. This was the type of start that we talked about the boys really, really needed, right? Knowing that, I mean, at the end, the biggest challenge really is the final boss here in group stage, at least as far as in Group D, right? That's going to be ATK. But are you halfway there,
Absolutely. This is a great start here. And, you just need one more series win to be able to guarantee yourself into a spot in the playoffs. So a great start overall. But, there were some errors on the half of Aipx. They allowed a lot of these teams to just creep back into this one and almost, have an opportunity to take it away. But they did a great job closing it out. But, that's twice now that they had a 2-goal and a 3-goal lead. And, it was just... It got a little too close for comfort, if I'm completely honest, at the end.
Yeah, there were a couple of times I definitely felt like we could have been able to extend that lead. But again, I mean, the only thing that matters is the result, right? 3-0. I think there's a big momentum push here, especially because I don't want to say that this next game is easy. But when we look back to starting of group play, when we played what's now Mythic Esports back when they were Team Espionage, this squad was able to jump all over this team, and knowing that the team is already in sync, they're warmed up, they look like they're comfortable dictating the pace, I don't expect much of a different result. Maybe they'll be able to play a little bit better defense and close that gap on the side of Team Espionage, but we just saw a 3-game sweep. Don't be surprised if we see another one leading in to that ATK matchup. What do you think about that?
I would love to be able to see that one, be able to have an opportunity to go 9-0 in group stage, but first of all, you have to take this next sweep against Mythic Gaming. Mythic, you were able to take the sweep last time. You have to repeat that history, be able to really put yourself in that goal differential and the game differential as well. You have this huge matchup against Mythic, guarantee your spot into the playoffs, and then really start going after this Goliath of ATK here.
Yeah, so it does look like actually ATK and Mythic is the only game right now, or I'm sorry, one of the very few games that's still running as far as from round 1. So it looks like we'll probably have a little bit later of a break, a little bit longer of a break. Great time to stretch the legs, go grab yourself some food, go grab yourself some water, because we're going to be in for a banger. We'll be back right after this.
till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move.
What?
All right, and welcome back, everyone. It actually ended up being a little bit quicker of a break than I was expecting here. You'll love to see it. Already moving into game number 2. So we're going to be seeing, again, Mythic Esports, previously known as Team Espionage, and it looks like they are coming off of a sweep, actually. So they're probably going to be feeling the pressure if they are going to be wanting to at least earn themselves a shot into the play-in round of the bracket, right? That extra game today. They're really going to be needing to try and set the tone here. So both teams wanting to set their own tone, different statements to make, but it's still a statement game for the two teams regardless.
Absolutely. And we were talking a little bit about ATK versus Aipx at the end of this bracket. But, you know, the other big storyline for the rest of this bracket as well is, you know, the flip side of that. You know, if we have this how we're lining it out, that ATK and Aipx both win this next series, you know, that puts a win and in situation for Astronics and Mythic as well, as they'll both be sitting 0-2 at that point, and whoever wins that one will also make playoffs. So, you know, Group D is shaping up to be very interesting to see who takes. It's going to come out down to the wire of who makes it and who is like, and who's making it into the quarterfinals right away.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be shaping up really good here. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm writing off this matchup too quickly or anything, but especially even when we see how Mythic did in their 3-game series against ATK, only scoring 1 goal, allowing 12. It sounds rather similar to what we were talking about, how the series against Aipx and then Team Espionage went during the Winter Open, right? So, again, I don't want to write it off as an easy sweep or make it seem. I do think, though, it's not going to be quite as tight as Astronic played us, though.
Absolutely. And one thing I do want to turn everyone's attention to as well is we have just received some news that Red Crown Esports has had to forfeit this tournament. So they are out of Group A. And so Limitless, Ballers, and Ice will automatically advance. And now they're just fighting for seeding in that one. And some other interesting news in Group B, SRZ and Fusion are in a 2-2 game number 5. They are finishing that one up as SRZ right now, you know, tied with us at rank number 6. A lot on the line for them as well. If, you know, maybe, just maybe, we could see an early bounce from them, depending on how everything plays out, of course.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because I had talked about before, even if, let's say, for any reason we see Aipx drop the ball, I believe that means with the way that's shaping out, if Team Fusion pulls off that dub, we might even be seeing SRZ in the first round of playoffs, which means we could actually be the ones to do that. But looks like we're ready to go here as far as game number 2. Aipx still going to be on, or not game number 2, series number 2. This is game number 1 of that series here. Mythic Esports going to be on the orange, Aipx back out on that blue side here. It looks like as far as early, Mythic was able to at least win the kickoff, able to push up into the zone here, but it's still kind of that 50-50 draw. You like to see the aggression out from Mythic Esports early, but I almost can't help but wonder if that's going to be something that we'll see if the Aipx boys really be able to capitalize and punish with something like that right there, where Shadow catches them overcommitting, and that's just a wide open net.
Yeah, just a beautiful job there to be able to capitalize on this one. Just reaching right over them and snatching that one. Shadow, the one who scored many goals in game number 1 in the last series, already off to a familiar start in this game number 1.
Now we're going to be going through here as far as you see. I was trying to quickly push things back up as far as on the side of Mythic's offense, but is that Jeff? Yeah, Jeff moving on their way in. Nice stop as far as from the side of Laxar. Pushes it up. Shadow gets the second touch off the sidewall, trying to maintain that control. That's actually going to be a wall. I thought floating in front of the goal for somebody. No one quite that far up the pitch, though. Laxar sends it up in front of the net. It is going to be touched away, at least by now, for now, by Jeff. It looks like the defense from Mythic starting to step up, but relentless attack from Shadow. And as I'm talking about it, there's goal number 2.
And this is just the constant harassment from Aipx here. They're just hounding, they're bumping, they're putting it off the backboard as Jeff just gets bumped and slammed into the side corner. A great job by Aipx right away to be able to just double up their lead. And as this one comes over into the corner, Laxar able to take control, just handling this one nicely, gets it around 2. And now a 2-on-1 opportunity, but a great clear there by Jeff to just alleviate this. The first opportunity as this one comes comes off the side post. A second shot gets floated in and just taken away. And now the defense to offense off the backboard, one up, the shot on target, and the save made by Laxar cleans this one up, tripling the lead now at 3-0.
Now this is huge. I love seeing as far as on the side of Laxstar, right? It would have been easy to see that was going to be a shot on goal and more than likely was going to bounce in, but stayed aware, really lurking in the shadows. That way when the save did come in, right there to be able to follow it up. And you had mentioned it, now a 3-goal lead, really trying to pile it on. Nice save here for now for Original, able to knock that thing away even with 0 boost. And now Blackstar trying to make a touch, gets a second touch, keeping things alive. Shadow follows it up. That's 4 goals here, folks, in less than 2 minutes.
And when it rains, it pours. Ratstar is going to be able to just tie that one up, just being a menace to society. Now finding bumps, finding the assists, finding the tie-ups needed to be able to score this one, as Shadow just takes that one away. It is 4 goals in less than 2 minutes, and they're going back to work off the ceiling, just a little bit too far from that one. And now with Mythic just trying to get anything going here, just immediately taken away by Laxstar once again, who flips it to the middle, but no one's home for the second touch.
Oh, I thought that was going to be maybe wide open capitalization on the side of Aipx
like
there
that?
Because no one was back, but there it is there at this point. Able to see, keeping that pressure, able to catch Mythic Esports out of position here, and with that relentless attack, another easy goal, and that's 5 here, and it's only been 8 seconds over that 2 minutes, man. You're just seeing the squad of Aipx really tearing it up.
Absolutely. This is just a brutal watch right now. You're going to have to put some parental advisings on this one, as this is just a classic beatdown at 5-0, not even halfway through the game. As this one, not on target, just a little bit off, but now immediately taken away by Original, who floats this one to the middle, finding a demo as well. The clear, not perfect, and now the counterattack coming back in, as Latstar just trying to put this one back over, not able to get it. Original puts it under 1, the demo on the last one. Will there be a 6th goal here, as this one just gets floated wide?
One thing I want to point out here, looking at the scoreline currently of 5-0, reflecting back to Mythic Esports series against ATK. ATK failed to find the back of the net 5 times at all, like over in any series, or in any game, I should say. And there's still 2 minutes left here from Aipx. Just something to kind of look forward to when we talk about next series, because this thing right now, we can see Aipx. I'm not going to say in cruise control, but definitely very much in the driver's seat. Looks like Original should be able to at least get a push up. Oh, I thought it was going to be a nice shot on the goal just off the post. You can see really the relentless attack from the offense keeps the boys from Mythic over here. They're low on boost. They don't really have much to work with. Is there anybody here to follow that up is the question. Laxstar gets a touch off the backboard, but at least a nice touch here from the defense right here from Mythic.
This is just beautiful to see. They're really trying to just go for creative shots and really putting this one as an explanation point on this cup here, as this one gets floated away. A good save by Jeff, as Laxstar puts this one over on target, just a little bit wide though, as it floats across again. I can't tell you how many times this ball has just kind of floated across the goal line, because it's been way too many. And Mythic, if they want a chance at the series, they're really going to need to clean that up.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I can't, like, it seems like they're applying extra pressure here, obviously trying to cut into the deficit, but can't help but wonder if you'd be better suited here these last 60 seconds, trying to get back into your normal game plan, right? Try and figure out what it is with your normal attack that would be able to find the back of the net here for Aipx, because Aipx has really proven here thus far in game number 1 that the best defense is indeed a great offense. I mean, this ball hasn't been over on this side of the pitch very much. When it is, we've seen Mythic hasn't really been able to get quality shots. It's kind of just bumps here and there whenever they get the opportunity. Aipx really setting the tone.
Absolutely, as this one just gets floated high. Their first scoring opportunity also floated wide. You hate to see that if you're a fan of Mythics, but you'll love to see it if you're a fan of Aipx, as this rocket just comes in and a huge save made on the goal line. And with 10 seconds left, this is you know, it's been all but over. Yeah, it's been over for a little bit now, as, you know, they finally had their first scoring chances. That one gets taken away, but some last-second heroics, as that one can't be kept alive. Aipx taking game number 1 in dominating fashion.
Sheesh. 5-0, and you can just look at those bars across on the bottom, right? Other than saves, everything really leaning quite a bit towards the right. I mean, obviously goals with the shutout, but I mean, we're talking about 14 shots on goals here for Aipx and only 3 from the side of Mythic. A lot of that just being, again, because Aipx playing so aggressive, staying up in that Mythic side of the pitch.
Yeah, and one thing to also note is all 3 players outshot the entire Mythics team, which is just an absurd stat to really just think about. All 3 of their players were able to put on more shots than the entire team of Mythics individually. So, as we move into this next game, you know, some of the key points for this one is, you know, just keep playing your game if you're Aipx, and don't let Mythic into this one early on.
We're going to see, though, here, and at least be able to avoid anything going in early, but not able to switch the side of the pitch just quite yet. You can see even Among Us here trying to see if they can get that touch. Not able to do that just quite yet. And with all of these players rotated up, you can't help but wonder if Aipx might be able to find a good counter. Starting things off here with Shadow, gets things at least up to the other half of the pitch, I think for the first time of the game, if I'm not mistaken, here in game number 2. We are going to be seeing, though, a nice little press up into this Astronic half. I think you might be able to contest that, but no, that's actually going to now be Astronic, and they might have an opportunity to find the back of the net here.
And just a huge clear here is going to go into the back of the net. You were right, honestly. There was a scoring opportunity. You just had it on the wrong side. So, Blackstar, great shot. Great clear, great shot, taking this 1-0 lead. And, you know, from an unexpected angle.
Yeah, really good start here going as far as for now. And now I think Blackstar are going to be trying to pass that thing up. That was a nice little bit of synergy followed up there by Original as well. And finding the back of the net, once again, making it look so easy, everyone getting involved. And even with that, I don't know if that happened to go off the hood of Among Us or not and tapped up, but regardless, really well done.
Don't tell me Among Us was the imposter all along. That would have been very unfortunate to hear if it goes in off their car, as Jeff tries to get the tie-up, as Original just lets this one float by. An opportunity is this one taken away. Now Blackstar taking their time, gets the 50, and now the follow-up there. Another good 50 here by Mythics, who seem to just been doing a little bit better already than last time in their last go-around. The ground-to-air dribble gets bumped off, though. A great bump to eliminate that opportunity, and now a great clear here by Aipx once again.
Now we're going to be seeing moving their way up here. That's going to be a second touch from Original, and that's now going to be a 3-goal lead. It just looks like, I mean, it looks so easy right now from Aipx, doesn't it? It just looks like they're out here, they're relaxing, they're in their bag. I don't want to say that they're not applying pressure, but it doesn't feel like they're under any sort of pressure at all.
No, I would agree with that. You know, it's tough to, you know, say that about another team, but at this point, the goals have been 8-0 so far. You know, the same scoreline that they were just used to in the last game, and this one has 3 minutes left. You know, it's very tough coming into it. You know, it's a mental battle at this point, as the back touch, trying to go for the double touch, you know, you're already seeing Aipx getting a little bit very fancy with their shots, and, you know, going for style points at this point as they're pre-jumping each other, as you can see there.
We are going to be seeing here Shadow going to be able to lead things forward a little bit. Original going to get a second touch, leaves in front of the net, but because everyone had already rotated back on the side of Aipx here, wasn't really able to capitalize quite yet. But you do see still playing aggressive. Original does get interrupted, not going to be able to make its way towards the net, but Blackstar, even with 0 boost here, able to do enough on defense, causes a second touch to need to be required, which means less players able to make a play up towards the net, which makes it very easy to then counter. But you can see Mythics, they're not giving up just quite yet.
Absolutely, and you love to see the fight still going, as Mythics trying to get something on the board here. Is this one just a missed touch off the sidewall, as now Blackstar has an opportunity for the clear, floats this one over for a teammate, but now elects to go for the 50 themselves. As Shadow is up, they get the first touch, able to stay on the ball and just back into their opponent's half, as Aipx just pushing it. Original opportunity, has the boost, going for the dunk, not able to get it to go as it comes off the side post.
And there it is here. I mean, the one thing you are seeing, though, even if it's not quite the barrage of goals that we saw in the last game. It's still a very similar storyline, just in the sense that Mythic here hasn't really been able to advance the ball up into the Aipx half of the pitch. Of course, as I see that, we see a couple demos coming into play, buying some room. Nice job by Chef. Oh, they're not going to be able to find the back of the net, though. Missed opportunity. Now Shadow going the opposite way off the backboard. Tries to drop it in. Not going to be able to find a connection, though.
Oh, just both teams coming inches away from being able to put one on the board. There is a great diving save there. The 50 coming out, and they will be able to get their first goal here. As, you know, you got a little too antsy, you got a little too overextended here. But with a minute and 15, you know, you want to get maybe one more on the board to, you know, feel more comfortable. But I still feel like this one is kind of a runaway.
Yeah, it definitely still feels like Aipx very much in control, and honestly, that feels like one of those goals that seems to be a story of what happens from time to time for Aipx, even in the games where they're losing and the goals get bigger, where they just have a little bit of over rotations. One mistake gets capitalized on, but that's Rocket League for you, right? Especially when you're talking about at this level against some of the best in the region here. But as far as for now, I mean, a second goal actually from Jeffs. That's actually going to make things interesting here, because now Mythic Esports just one goal down with 53 seconds.
Absolutely, and this changes the entire mindset of Aipx. That, you know, now they're going to be trying to extend and be able to put on another goal here. You don't want Mythics to be able to tie this one up, as Latstar is up, going to try getting it off the back post, will be able to, but a great clear there. Now the ball getting pushed back in off the ceiling, has the shot over for a pass off the back post once again. The shot saved as it's halfway into the goal, but Shadow is there to just double up once again, and they are just in full control once again.
And there it is, lurking in the shadows, able to come up with a big answer there, extending that lead here to 2 with just 36 seconds. Mythics going to be feeling the pressure. They need an answer very, very quickly, because that answer now only brings you to within 1, and there's only 30 seconds left on this clock here as well, which isn't good news for Mythic Esports, especially because of the fact that it's in their defensive zone. That's going to be a touch that's just going to end up a little bit wide, but now 20 seconds, you need a goal in the next 5 or 8.
Absolutely, and with 16 seconds remain, that big clear wasn't really powerful for them as Mythics, as they just ticked off too much time, as this one should be over now. Another goal is going to just solidify that one, as Ratstar, as he has labeled himself in this series, Lackstar has just been able to just put another one home.
Yeah, you know, as DJ Khaled would say, another one. That's going to be now 5-2. And now here, you're going to see, again, extending that lead. I think this is where it's important for Aipx. I felt for like a minute or two, they're playing a little bit more reserved. Even though you've got the lead here, you've got to make sure that you're still playing your game. Shut up. You gonna put this in the back of the net? No, they're not going to be able to. But you got to still be able to play your game and be prepared, because you know, at the end of what will probably be game number 3 is ATK, who will more than likely also be 6-0.
Absolutely, and that one is eerily similar to last series, where the ball is halfway across the goal line and it ends once again. As that one, you take 5-2, you're one game away from taking this one as a sweep as well, and being able to get yourself a little bit more time before that last series. As a quick update though, it looks like we got game number 1 in for ATK and Astronic here, and that first game ended 4-1 there. As we are moving into, they should be closing out their second game soon. We will have an update for you on that one some point during this next game.
So I'm gonna need some people to help me out here on the desk. I'm gonna need y'all to do some research. Is there a record for amount last second goal line end games over the course of an event? Because we're now at 3 so far here for Aipx, with the last second literally dropping the ball on the goal line. Just kind of a fun little stat there. But here we go, game number 3. Aipx looking to try and wrap things up quickly. Another 3-game series would definitely be looking nice.
Absolutely, as Aipx just trying to get this one early, but Mythic, a great opportunity early on, as they send 2 towards the net, just gets turned away. Now just working their way back in, the double touch opportunity, a great shot by Shadow, able to just take this one defense to offense, goes coast to coast and takes this one away.
I don't know if we have any Aipx like gaming fans, but I can only hear Nicewig in the back going, ew, that thing was disgusting. Able to go the distance, dropping that thing in, and Shadow really showing, even though they might be the new player on the active roster, really showing up here, getting that first point on the board as well, and it looks so good for the boys thus far. You gotta hope though that you can keep the pedal down to the metal. Don't start playing to not lose. Keep your game plan together. Make sure your rotations are tight, because you've got ATK lurking in the shadows. We do see Original was able to bounce that off the corner, but no one was able to follow up. Everyone had already started to rotate back towards the defensive side. It does look like Blackstar, I thought we could be able to get a big clear, but no one able to be back. If you can get a second touch, that'd be huge, but I believe that was Jeffs came in with a big touch. Won't be noted as a save, but it was a save. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And now Mythic's just trying to turn this one, but stolen, and just Shadow just picks the pocket of the defender to be able to double up this lead. A great heads up play, just steals the boost and just immediately turns back in, picks it, and just puts it away.
No, we have talked about how Shadow just seems to be one of the faster players in the league. I think even just that replay showed it, coming kind of from behind that ball, able to rotate all the way around, then be able to win the contest, pushing that thing towards the goal. I mean, really, I think shows the skill that on the side as far as from Shadow, and we've already known from previous splits as far as from Blackstar in Original. I think that really goes to show why we've been seeing the results we've been seeing from Aipx. They look like a really well-oiled machine here. Even in this game where it looks like maybe a little bit more lax, even though they might be allowing a little bit more entry into their defensive zone, they're able to counter it just like that. And we're a minute and 33 seconds into this game, and Shadow already has a hat trick.
Just a beautiful pinpoint pass to be able to put that one away at 130 kilometers per hour. Just a beautiful power shot, and just the entire team's firing on all cylinders at this point. I feel like the only way Mythic really comes back into this one is if, you know, Aipx kind of has a meltdown at this point, and, you know, they get a little too lackadaisical on the plays that they're going for.
Yeah, I think that's why it's important that for you as Aipx, you don't start playing not to lose, right? You just continue to play your game, because if you see them start to play passive, maybe a team like Mythic can catch you off, even with the lack of goals that we've seen thus far in the series. You never really know. You need to make sure you're dictating the pace here. Shadow's going to leave that off the backboard. No one able to follow it up. Luckily, as far as from the side of Mythic's, Physics was able to get that second touch. Otherwise, that'd have been a little biscuit right in front of the basket. Blackstar here trying to push their way across the way. Original gonna go over, leaves it off the backboard, but just gets a save. I'm not sure who that was, but that was redonkulous.
Absolutely, and just trying to keep themselves in this game and in this series right now. Just some beautiful saves to just keep this one at bay, as this one's off the post once again, a little bit high off the top post, as this one off the backboard now, but a great job by Mythic to try turning this one into an opportunity to pass down to the middle, and just a beautiful shot by Among Us here just to be able to start scratching their way back into this.
Yeah, you know what? That looked really good though, right? Like that was kind of what you are looking for if you're Mythic in these games, because it is looking right now. We had talked about it heading into the break, that it looked like these next two games in the round 3-4 Group D were either going to be for position between Aipx and ATK to see who would get the bye round, and in the bottom of that is going to be Astronic and this Mythic Esports. But while we're talking about that, let's talk about Aipx game is still running it up. Blackstar really flexing.
Well, I think this one might be taken back, because it looks like there was a little bit of a disconnect there.
No take backsies. Called it.
That's very, you know, maybe if we tell the official here that we did call no takesies backsies on this goal, maybe they'll allow us to have that one. You know, just maybe. We have word that we are going to be telling the admin, and I'm holding you to this. I hope you know, just to the person behind the scenes. But as we move forward, you know, this game is it is what it is. You know,
It's what we expected it to be going into it, right?
Absolutely. And we do have an update on the series with ATK and versus Astronic here, as ATK has taken the second one 4-0 as well. So, you know, they're keeping their rhythm. They've scored 4 in every single game so far out of their 5 matches that they played.
Yeah, that's kind of an impressive scoreline when you think about it, right? That's quite a bit. Now, granted, I think when you look at Aipx, I mean, I think their average is right around the same. Actually, I think a little bit higher with a couple of 5-pointers. So that, again, leads to the buildup to this matchup that we've been talking about, quite frankly, all broadcast, right, Puma? Which is what we were expecting. Round number 3, ATK versus Aipx Gaming for essentially who gets to get the bye and end their day early. Because, yeah, whoever loses is going to be playing against a team that they've already beat. Oh, no, they won't. They'll be playing against somebody else. I'm tripping. We're going to rewind that back. But you're going to be able to, if you're in the lower bracket, if you lose, you don't know who you're playing against on the other side. You could still be done today, even if you finish top 2 in your bracket.
Absolutely. And that's always the challenging part of this one. As you know, you want to be able to control your destiny. You want to be able to control yourself to have that extra day into this one. And, you know, have a little bit more of that prize pool as a nice 20,000 goes into this Winter Cup, you know, pretty nice. So you want to be able to give yourself, you know, that better chance to be able to get to, you know, anywhere a little bit higher. But, you know, as this one is moving on, I don't believe we've received word yet on if they're going to allow the goal or not. But let's take a look around the league, you know, shall we? As this one is wrapping up. So SRZ is able to take down Fusion in a 5-game, a best of 5. They take Champions Field 3-2. So a very close match there between SRZ and Fusion. You know, Limitless is just taking house right now, winning their first 2 games 7-0 to 2-1. A little bit more of a surprise there on that second game. And, you know, as we already know for Group A,
no, you told me
right.
we weren't allowing them to take it back.
Have you tried telling them? Just no.
you told them we called takesy backsies, right? Okay, as
have you tried just using the argument of I disagree?
Anyways, here, so we are going to be going in. It's 3-1 here, 2-goal lead here still for Aipx, so they're still in very much control. What do you think here as far as for Aipx? You've got the lead already, obviously, right? What has to be the game plan for, what is it, like these last like 2.5? It's got to be the game plan for Aipx to make sure you are, you know, warmed up and ready to go for ATK.
Honestly, I'm just making sure that everyone's getting some mechanical plays, being able to stretch their imagination, because against a team like ATK, you're going to have to get creative about how you're going to score. You're going to be looking for bumps, you're going to be looking for demos, or you're also going to be looking for the solo plays as well to be able to really put you ahead. So there's going to be a little bit of all elements going into that series. So if you're Aipx Gaming here, you really need to separate yourself from the pack, be able to start warming up individually as well as a team. So I want to see 2 more goals, you know, relatively quickly, so you can just use the last like minute and a half to whatever you want to be able to focus on here.
So going in 3-2, I'm guessing we're still probably getting people connected up here and everything for just a moment. So again, let's go ahead and while we're talking about kind of going around the league here, it does look like as far as in Group B, Orlando Pirates is continuing their dominance. You were kind of talking about Fusion and SRZ. That's important because let's just say, for instance, Aipx does lose ATK. Just let's say something happens there and that's what happens. We would be seeing whoever is finishing 3rd in Group B. As much as I had said I would love to see that be SRZ because I would like to be able to knock them out early, it would be looking like, at least for now, more than likely that's going to be Team Fusion.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless SRZ has... SRZ does have a tough matchup at their last one, but you know, they are taking care of Unity right now. They won their first game 2-0, so that's also going to be one to keep an eye on. And, you know, this also could be a fun, you know, a what if SRZ takes down Orlando Pirates. That would also be a very fun experience overall, just to be able to see Orlando Pirates maybe get moved into the lower bracket, but I don't really think that might happen. I think that one might be a stretch.
And I don't want to call it an upset alert by any stretch of the means or anything, but Nixa is tied up 1-1 right now with Fusion Esports in Group C, which is kind of interesting because they're that team that's kind of right behind White Rabbit Gaming and ATK. It's we had talked about going into the day, right? The potential of how those couple spots, those like 4 spots back behind Orlando Pirates and Limitless, how there's potential for some shakeup there. And it's already looking like that potential becoming more of a possibility.
Absolutely. And fun fact, we just received word that Unity is now 1-1 with SRZ right now. So Unity just took a game off in the same scoreline, 2-0, one in each for each team here. So, you know, maybe, just maybe, SRZ, there is a chance that they still end up finding themselves at the bottom, like in that third spot if words are tough sometimes. If Unity is able to pull this one off and then Orlando Pirates takes care of business, we could still see SRZ in that lower part.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an opportunity. I would love to see SRZ there, just because I would love to take pride in being the one to knock them out in that, that'd be 5-8 bracket there at that point, right? Or no, that wouldn't be 5-8. That would be your 9 through 12, which is even less points. So, get to kind of control your own destiny would be kind of nice. As far as everything else, I would have to say, for people who are familiar with this scene, a lot of the groups kind of shaping up how you would expect them to, right? Limitless at the top of theirs, Orlando Pirates at the top of theirs, White Rabbit Gaming did finish up a sweep on Digital Devils. So when you talk about your top 3, even top 4 teams, technically, when you talk about by ranking standards, as far as for SSA, all currently getting ready for round number 3, sitting at that 2-0.
Absolutely. And, one other thing I'll just throw into this one just for fun is, today I am SRZ's #1 hater, and I'm preying on their downfall for this series in Unity, just because I would love to see that all transpire right now. So I will keep bringing that up because you got to speak it into existence. I'm a big fan of that one. So, but as we move forward, do we have word if everyone in the lobby is okay?
All right, so we are still waiting on getting everyone into the lobby here. So we do have a few minutes until we load in. I'm trying to think as far as let me refresh more time. I mean, most of these games are already going to be starting to wrap up here. And it actually looks like it's going to be Mythic Esports with the forfeit. Can I get confirmation on that in my ear? So Mythic Esports is going to be walking away with a forfeit. Right. I mean, that game was just about done anyways, right? Like, I don't want to be that guy that says it like that. But I mean, in the sake of keeping the things moving forward, that does mean Aipx will be 3-0, making it 6-0 across the day, going to be facing off against ATK. We've been talking about it all day long. We're finally going to get to see it. Unfortunately, though, I think Puma, we're not going to get to enjoy it with you, right?
I believe so. I believe someone. Do we have word on who the other person is going to be coming in?
I mean,
works with me. Whatever's best with y'all. So, we are going to go to a little bit of a break just so we're able to figure out everything behind the scenes real quick.
Maybe Puma's going to be back. We don't know. We'll have to see.
I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see.
All right, but y'all stay tuned. We're going to be back. Grab yourself some water. Grab yourself a quick schnickety snack. We'll be back after this.
Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in us. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up tonight. We're gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We're gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see
and alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares through. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to
All right. Time to get on down to it. The matchup that we have been talking about all day long. And as you can see over here to, well, I guess my left, y'all's right. Puma back with us on the desk here, getting ready for
Hello.
ATK versus Aipx. I was worried you weren't going to get to hang out with us for, I think, the much anticipated game of the day, but you are. What you thinking heading in here?
I'm very excited for this. It's going to be able to, really show the entirety of this bracket of Group D. It all really came to, like what we were alluding to, is it's going to come down to ATK versus Aipx to really be able to take this one home, to who's going to get the first one. Both of them sitting at 6-0 on the day. So this one, I'm just really excited for it. This one's going to be a slugfest. This one is going to be just beautiful Rocket League being played by both teams. It's going to be so much fun to see.
Yeah, I'm going to be really pumped for a couple of reasons here, because we know that that we talked earlier that 3 through like 6, 7 in the rankings, how much it can mix up here. We know that ATK was very close to beating Nixa, who is technically right behind them in the standings, right? So I think if you see a team like Aipx, who's technically sitting in 6th right now, but I think the eye test tells you that they should be higher than that in the region. If Aipx can come out here and really make a statement, I'm not saying sweep ATK. I'm not expecting that. But if you can say 3-1 and look at, very convincing fashion, I think that tells you to yourself here for the Aipx squad, hey, when we line up tomorrow, we're a top 4 team in the region. We just have to go out and show everyone else.
Absolutely. I know you're a little bit afraid to say it, but I'll say it. Sweep them. Keep it perfect on the day. 9-0. I see it in the future. The stars are aligning. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day to be an Aipx fan, because they're gonna take it in 3. And I am always a little too confident about things, but as we move underway into game number 1, we have ATK in the blue, Aipx in the orange, as Aipx floats this one high. ATK able to just take this one away right away, but Aipx is just keep having a nice sustained drive already. 2 shots on net in these first 15 seconds, a little bit like what we like to see to start off the series.
Yeah, we know that we know that Aipx is playing at their best when they're dictating the pace. So seeing them really being able to push up into this offensive zone right now, definitely going to bode very, very well. The only question is this maybe potentially ATK trying to feel out this new Aipx roster? I don't think they've gotten to see them yet other than in scrims here. And obviously, again, as I said, heading into the show itself, take scrims for what they are, but Aipx has been looking very dominant against ATK here in scrims recently. I think 12-2 if my notes were correct heading into this. So I am looking for them to really try and dictate the tone early. You had mentioned they're doing a good job pushing the pressure. Here's going to be a second touch by Laxstar, but a nice save as it was on the near post. Laxstar was trying to push to the near post, expecting the player to be trying to swing wide for that far post, but really good defense coming in.
Absolutely, and just ATK is just standing strong right now. They've survived the first barrage of 65 to 75 seconds of just pure defensive stand that they needed to, as Aipx is just pushing the pressure once again, having Shadow another shot on, another save made early on. The defensive transition, is it going to be able to get out this time? As a miscommunication and a mistouch there, a 50 coming out to the sidewall, as Shadow is going to pounce on this one. Shadow has a little bit of time, has the flip reset, gets it all round 1, but not a round 2 though, as Aipx pushing it once again into the field of play. Another mistouch by ATK as it floats just wide of the net once again.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing those squad doing a good job getting back on the rotations. That way you can even see Original trying to gain control of this here around the mid pitch. We are going to be seeing a nice contest coming in here. I believe that was Shadow who went up and was able to now knock that thing back down. Original able to avoid the bump, able to get the save, trying to get the second shot here, save as well. I believe that was Laxstar able to get the touch here. We've seen Shadow be able to go coast to coast quite a bit. Nice job by Original on the bottom side to keep it pushing forward, but not to any avail. But Laxstar doing a good job. I thought was going to be able to get the clear, not quite, but able to buy a little bit of space here for a nice shot from Original.
And Shadow just taking their time, really corralling this ball, and now going for the big clear all the way in. But a great job by Galaxy to just push this one all the way back out. But once again, we haven't seen that real drive by ATK. We saw one opportunity so far, but that's within 2.5 minutes of gameplay, as Galaxy is trying to get the double touch here, is just a little bit wide, but puts it towards the middle. A great clear to the corner there, a misfire there, and now back into the corner. ATK just hasn't been able to get these shots that they've been wanting to yet, as another counterattack puts it over for Shadow. The shot on net, it's off the post, and Shadow is able to get this first one, and that is 3 series in a row in game number 1 where Shadow is electric and getting this first goal.
And what's one thing that I really noticed looking in that bottom left-hand corner as soon as the goal came across, not the fact that it was the first goal for Shadow. Shadow has 5 shots on goal thus far in the game. There's still 2 minutes left to play. Really tells the tale of the story right now as far as for Aipx trying to really seize control, grab the bull by the horns. But you see quick shot on the goal, and Wordy takes it the distance very quick to get the equalizer.
Yeah, just a beautiful play by Wordy, able to take this up the wall and just limiting the amount of movement that they have to do. A great double touch and almost a save there, but the positioning just able to force this one in as Aipx, that's why you get that first goal is so, if a thing like that happens, you're able to immediately be able to counterattack as Shadow up in the air. The double touch, trying to get their own, but just saved on the goal line. Now looking for the bump, but not able to get it. And now into the corner, Wordy, a great clear here. And now ATK trying to find their footing again.
Boost. Yeah, Aipx had no boost there. I can't remember who exactly it was that was trying to line up that shot, or trying to at least switch it up into that other side of the pitch, but it wasn't to any avail. At least though right now you can see Aipx doing a good job regaining control as far as the pace, right? They're pushing back up into this ATK half of the pitch here in the corner, which is where we've seen them make so many plays over the course of the day. Quick turnaround by Original to at least make sure the ball stays over on this half of the pitch, but not able to get a second touch, which does allow a change of pace to the other side of the field, missing the shot, but a nice save. I believe that was Original came in on the second touch.
A beautiful pop here, just trying to get a shot opportunity as this one floating, and now just a quick pass over to Original, who cuts by one but not around the rest. And now Willow is just working their way down, just trying to get something going. Now working their way out of the corner, a shot opportunity, but once again just put wide. And that's what we've been seeing by ATK. I don't know if they're just in their own head right now, but they've had a few opportunities now, and they just keep putting this one wide as Aipx is just able to push it out once again.
Yeah, I think right now what you're just seeing is ATK has probably spent a lot of the day being able to do what they want. I mean, you mentioned they've scored 4 goals in every game. I don't know if they're used to being this disrupted by the defense. Oh, good job, touch there to be able to put that over Wordy as the last seconds are going to be coming to a close. Looks like we're going to be going to an overtime, but Shadow says, no, let me get one more shot at it. Doesn't fall, but that means overtime in game number 1.
Absolutely. As we approach the starting ticker of this overtime, Aipx is just trying to push the pace once again. A quick shot opportunity just coming a little bit wide, and now a 2-on-1 coming in the other way. A great job by Original to put this into the corner, and the beat there, the 50, and now just another misfire is going to go back, but another job by ATK to just push this back into the Aipx half.
Yeah, right now it doesn't look like Aipx has really been able to get the push out of their zone just quite yet, but let's not forget that's how the game started as well, and then they were able to flip the script. We do see it pushes up into the corner on the opposite side. Good rotation seeing coming in from Aipx. That's going to get left off the backboard potentially. Original's not going to be able to get that second touch, and we are going to see now going to need to rotate back. Lackstar doing a great job interrupting it actually at the midfield, not allowing the offense to progress any further. Nice pass down to Original, and it's 50 seconds into overtime, and Aipx takes game number 1.
My, a beautiful pass by Shadow onto the car of Original to just put that one home. And this is what they've been waiting for. They're finally able to break apart this ATK defense. They were in the offensive zone, I'm going to just say, for at least 3.5 to 4 minutes out of the 6 available. They were just dominant. They were just pushing it, but the ATK defense was just also meeting their match on offense. So this is going to be a great series of the classic tale, defense versus offense. Who wins?
Yeah, I mean, at least the good news right now for Aipx is they've been proving that as far as on their side, the best defense is a good offense. I mean, looking at these stats here, really controlling the pace. You had mentioned it in time and zone, which doesn't really show here, and I would say even the ball touches doesn't quite reflect that, but obviously not just the goals, but shots as well really shows, I mean, just how, I don't want to say one-sided of offense, 11 shots to 4. I mean, that tells the tale in its own right.
Absolutely. And, as we are moving forward, it's just incredible. 3 shots from ATK, able to convert on one of them. That you just saw that when they were able to break it out, they were able to just be able. I'm stumbling on myself right now. We just watched some great Rocket League. I got to calm myself down into this next game, but ATK was able to convert on the opportunities given to them when they finally put one on net. That's the key word here, on net, because a lot of the times they just sent it wide, and that's one thing that we're going to have to keep an eye on, because ATK, they're so close but also so far at the same time.
Yeah, it's interesting how that can be, right? I mean, just able to at least hold firm on the defense comparatively. I mean, you have to realize that's a lot of shots by Aipx to only allow the few goals that they did, right? But now you've got to be able to find a way to still push up into the offensive zone. Wordy's going to be able to at least push things up into the Aipx side briefly, but it looks like Shadow's gonna be trying to go the opposite way. Galaxy with the good contest, going to the opposite corner here, and I believe now it does look like doing a good job playing aggressive from the side of ATK, but that may be able to leave a nice opening for a counterattack here from Aipx. We're gonna see Lackstar tries to push it over, doesn't quite put it over, but at least maintains the pressure, the control briefly on the side of Aipx. But man, ATK looks like a different team right now.
Absolutely, as a missed bump opportunity from Aipx is going to come out at 2-on-1. A great save by Original, who puts this off to the side as Willow puts this one up. The next one there is Aipx, who gets a nice double touch. Lackstar just pushing this one in as Willow is trying to contest this one on the wall, not able to do so. A great touch there by Shadow to just keep this one from being a quick transition game, as Galaxy is pushing the pace but has no moves. He's looking for the bumps, is able to get one, but Original is able to meet the pace and able to get that clear, as Shadow now takes control over to the mid pitch, and now just a beautiful pass over to Original and just stuffed again by Galaxy.
Yeah, I mean, really good defense again showing up on the ATK side, and they're able to switch the sides of the pitch very quickly here. We do see, though, Original tries to see if they can capitalize on the players rotated up, trying to get into the offensive zone. Shadow at least gets the interruption here. That isn't going to be able to make much of it because Wordy gets the one touch, and we're seeing that back and forth, that tug of war around here at midfield, as Wailu's gonna be able to take it the distance. Beautiful dribbling there in the air for the homie Wailu. That's gonna be the goal, but you know what? It's only one. Don't be surprised to see Aipx come back and put one up on the board quick.
Absolutely, and if that's the type of goals that are going to be able to break apart either team's defense, I'm looking forward to this series. This is just incredible Rocket League being played. A great solo effort to be able to score here, as Shadow is pushing the pace once again, gets one over to the middle as this one just gets sailed wide. You hate to see that one, but the counterattack is still going as they try getting something going. Another shot on net. The double commit will be able to keep this one out. Another shot coming in now as this one just gets taken to the corner. Aipx is really turning up the pace here.
Yeah, I do got to point out, though, we are seeing a couple demos, or at least the one on the side of ATK, whereas they had not had any in game number one. I think that shows them trying to bump up the aggressiveness a little bit, try and pump up the volume, try and play a little bit more up to that Aipx speed, because Aipx was able to very much dictate the tone in that first game. But for now, we've seen Aipx in their defensive half of the pitch quite a bit. That's going to come off the back wall. Lackstar is going to see if they might be able to make a play at it, but that's not going to be the case. That's floating. Nice save, though, to be able to at least make sure that the goal difference is only one.
Absolutely, with 2:11 left to play, we're seeing Aipx really having to struggle getting this out of their own pitch, something we haven't seen today. They have not played of being down at all, and now they're trying to answer it as a great back pass. The shot, what in the vision is that? A beautiful heads-up play. I thought he was going for the redirect, but Shadow passes this one out on a beautiful play over to Lackstar. A great team play to even this one up.
Man, what a beautiful replay to be able to watch. I'm glad you were the one casting that, because that was really just a thing of beauty to be able to watch. 3 touches, everyone getting involved, and that's going to be that equalizer here. There's now at this point 110 seconds left. You still need to be able to find the back of the goal one more time here if you're trying to avoid that overtime like we saw in game number 1. Still, though, we're seeing the offensive attack right now, that pressure from ATK. They're keeping it up over here in the Aipx side, but can't help but wonder if once again they might be able to come up with a big counter here. They just need to win a couple of these contests.
Absolutely, and one thing that Aipx has been doing as well is they're just floating the ball away too much, as Wordy's able to convert here on the backflip. You hate to see this one, as Wordy is just single effortly once again. The backflip is just going to open this one up, but that's what we're seeing from ATK here, is just solo effort plays to be able to break this one in. But Aipx, they really need to start just keeping more control of this ball, as more times than not, they've just been throwing this away.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like the control isn't far from being able to get retaken by Aipx, right? Like ATK doesn't seem to have the kind of firm control that Aipx had in game one, but they are keeping the ball up in that zone quite a bit here. Unfortunate that you miss on that contest there, but Original doing a good job crossing the pitch, coming over, gets a touch in front of the net there, but nice save coming in there. I believe that might have been Wailu. I'm not 100% certain on that. Regardless, though, good save either way. ATK still has the lead. 50 seconds for Aipx Gaming to try and find an equalizer.
Another passing play to get it out of their zone is going to be able to be successful as this one gets floated up to the middle, but the defense is going to be able to stand tall once again. ATK trying to get this out of their zone as Shadow stands up tall, gets the 50, but Wailu immediately on the counterattack has the aerial, but Original takes this one away. The second opportunity as Wordy's just going to float this one over and doubling up on the lead here. 3-1 here with 30 seconds left to play.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because there's a little bit of the miscommunication that allowed the first goal, which I think put the pressure on Aipx, getting out of position there, trying to see if they can push the tone, switching to the opposite side instead of just playing that lockdown defense that we've seen from them all day long. It's now a 2-goal differential. You need a goal quickly here. And even with that, let's say ATK does take game number 2, it's still going to be tied all back up. You're now going to be into a best of 3 scenario as long as you can come out and take control of the tone, because the pace really has not been in the side of Aipx over the course of game 2. It really feels like a tale of 2 stories.
Absolutely, and one thing you really have to do is you got to avoid some of these demos, or you got to start dishing them out yourself, as ATK has came out more physical than you in game number 2, and that was the tone that they set and was able to just differentiate from game number 1 to game number 2. That was their big adjustment. How are you going to counter adjust to them in game number 3?
And I mean, now we're going to see as far as on the stat lines here. I mean, it looks like, again, it looks very opposite of the last one, right? I mean, you're seeing a lot more shots on goals from ATK there, 9 of them to be exact, just to 5 of Aipx, but they were able to still get a couple of them there, right? I think the most important thing, though, is we saw the defense on the side of ATK really holding firm when they need to. It didn't seem like Aipx was able to put together the formula to find the back of the net, except for the once.
Absolutely. And now this one, you know, as we had mentioned before as well, ATK was misfiring a lot on that first game. This time they put it together a little bit more as we move into game number 3, and now it's time for Aipex's turn to really amp it up. They need to go back to their speed. They need to go back to their game while also matching this physicality. This game number 3, you want to put yourself up in a position where they have to match you and then take the next one as well. This one is going to be a banger of a game.
100%, especially because you had mentioned the demos a couple of times during the course of that game. Aipx had none that game, whereas they did have 3 compared to the none on the side of ATK in game number 1. I think you have to come out, you mentioned play aggressive, dictate that tone. You can see they're at least able to briefly move things over into that ATK half of the pitch before being interrupted there around the mid field, but Shadow at least gets a touch, gets a second, not going to be able to find the back of the net though. I do believe again Wailu was the one coming in with the big save.
Wailu and Wordsy have just been doing it all on the defensive end right now as they come back-to-back saves, as now Galaxy pushes this one to the corner. Aipx just trying to work their way back in, trying to find another strike right away, but once again, Wordsy is there. He takes this one back to the corner as now a pass over to the middle, just a little bit too far. Shadow not able to get the touch. Now a little bit of a misfire from Aipx once again. ATK trying to pounce all over this.
And as much as you want to see Aipx come out and try and dictate this tone, ATK really holding firm here. I had mentioned in game 1, I was wondering if maybe we were seeing ATK kind of figuring out this Aipx roster, and as much as you would like to hope that Aipx was able to do the same thing, it has seemed like ATK has been able to really kind of put the clamps down. If we're being honest, Shadow here is going to be able to at least dribble this thing the opposite way. Isn't going to be able to get anything as far as shot on the goal, but Blackstar is still going to be able to be around to disrupt this ball, trying to advance up the pitch, which might give Aipx an advantage going the opposite way, but you can see just not winning their contest. Now you're at very minimal boost here if you're Shadow. You're not able to make much happen. The ball goes the opposite way, and Wailu is going to be the first one on the board, and ATK takes the lead.
Absolutely, and just a beautiful placement by Galaxy, just high enough where it forces you to still go for it, but just out of reach if you're the defending Aipx team. You know, it just puts people out of position, and all you have to rely on is just a nice shot placement from the rest of your team, as Wailu is having control of this one. It has a little bit of a mistouch here, as now it looks like Original just floats this one up, but once again does not take control of it. They do get a demo now as Shadow is racing to the ball, has the flip reset, but shut down on the goal line. You hate to see that one, but Aipx going right back to work out of the corner, trying to make something happen. The infield pass, the shot, and just another save on the goal line by Galaxy.
Yeah, we are seeing those some demos coming out on the side of Aipx. They are playing more aggressive, buying that space here in the ATK zone. That's going to at least be a touch. Unfortunately, it's going to be just a bit outside, but and also Laxstar going just a tad bit high as well, which means ATK is going to be able to push up into the Aipx zone. Original gets control off the back wall, passes down, able to at least get the clear, but I don't know how clear that thing is. It looks like might have had a little bit of miscommunication. Two players going for it, might have an open net on the opposite side, drop down, but nice save coming in, able to avoid the shot from Laxstar. Really well done on the side from ATK.
And a great job by Wordsy to put this over to the side as Aipx puts this one into a shooting position, as Shadow puts this one off into the corner, now being able to get this boost. Laxstar trying to get this one out, but the 50 coming in by ATK once again going to be successful. Now working their way around the corner, Shadow fakes out one, not able to get the second touch though, as now pace of play has been pushed in front of the net once again. Shadow with the big clear. The redirect though, as Wailu is going to have to corral this one in. ATK and Aipx are really overextending now. I'm smelling a goal really soon here as both teams are getting antsy for this next one.
Yeah, they definitely seem to be hunting here, and we are seeing it as far as from the side of Aipx. They're starting to regain that control of the pace. They're spending quite a bit of time over here on the ATK side. You've been able to get a couple of chinks in the armor, but can you actually penetrate is the real question, because right now, still held to the shutout here. Defense on ATK really stone cold, and you only have 90 seconds left. Well, now 85, but time is not on your side.
Absolutely. The trading demo's coming in, though. This has opportunities. This one gets floated to the net. Shadow with a shot. That's his first save made, but not going to be enough, as Shadow's just going to be able to stop this one. It bounces off two from post and goes in. A great job there by Shadow to just muscle that one in.
Bigger, better, faster, stronger, as we are going to see Shadow is able to punch that thing in, ties things up with 76 seconds here. Now, you also looks like Aipx was quickly able to win the draw, but it did very quickly go the opposite way. The question becomes, can Aipx find someone out of position? It might be just the case here. And there it is, Original going to be able to find the lead with just 62 seconds.
Oh, just a beautiful play by Laxstar here to be able to get this over three different people. The double commit from ATK just puts Wailu in an awkward spot as the last man back to be able to make a play, and just the speed to get it over. A beautiful job flipping the script, and now once down 0-1 is now 2-1 as they have to push it once again, but Galaxy is going to take that one and just try pushing this one in, but doesn't have any power behind it.
And the good news is if if you walk away here with this game, it's floating in front of the goal. No one's going to be able to follow it up. But if you walk away with this game, you're just one game away from your day being done. You already get the bye in the bracket stages, which would be huge. But you can see ATK not wanting to give up the fight just quite yet. Two people commit, neither of them going to be able to find the back of the net. 30 seconds here for Aipx to be able to wind this clock down. That's going to be a touch towards the front of the net. Nice, clear. The question is, can you at least counter it? Original gets a touch, 20 seconds left. I think Aipx might be taking game number 3.
A little too early to tell. His chances is still pouring in from both sides. Says 10 seconds remain now. They got to corral this in their end if ATK wants a chance here. But the shot on net and the misfire, the save made on the goal line, but it expends a lot of boost. 2 seconds remain. They're able to pop this one into the air. Who's going to be able to get there first? Wordsy gets a one touch, but it gets killed as Aipx is going to be able to take the 2-1 series lead in this best of 5.
And that was huge there, especially because we saw early it looked like ATK was really able to dictate the pace. But when you look at the stats at the end of the day, it looks a lot similar to game 1, doesn't it? Maybe the score differential isn't quite the same, but look at those shots. We're talking about, what is that? Quick math. I'm sorry, I'm from the Midwest originally. 12 there is. So 12 shots on goal for Aipx, and we're talking about only 5 for ATK. They're really solid right now. And again, we have to remember early on, it looked like Aipx or ATK was dictating the tone. If Aipx can play the whole game like that second half, I think we're looking at a 3-1.
Absolutely. And Aipx is just one game away from taking this one as we touch the pitch once again. As ATK backs on the wall. Let's see how they respond here. ATK had a lot of opportunities as well, but just weren't able to find the back of the net. Some great defense coming out by Aipx there as we move into game number 4.
Now you're seeing, though, right off the rip, Aipx is up in that zone. That is going to be a demo on the Lackstar, which is unfortunate. They had quite a bit of boost. Wasn't sure if maybe they were going to be able to move in and make a play, but already going to be going the opposite way. Wins the contest. That's going to come off in the corner. Another demo here as ATK really looking to boost up that pressure, and Wailu only needs 31 seconds for ATK to make their statement here in game number 4.
And this is just a beautiful play by Wurtzy. Even though they do get a piece of the assist, they really make this goal happen by the demo and the bump, forcing the last defender to have to pre-jump through the smoke and just guess if it's going to be quick or not. A great job there by Wurtzy to try giving themselves that advantage once again, but the quick counterattack as Originals able to even this one up. A great shot placement and an even better pass to be able to put this one at 1-1 with only, 37 seconds into game number 4. This is the fastest that we've seen both teams score.
Yeah, I mean, it's a quick turnaround when the casters don't even get to pass the mic off in between goals. You know what I mean? A really quick response there as far as from Aipx. That's what you needed, though, because you don't want ATK to get too comfortable, right? You need to make sure that you're the one playing from the front. You need to be the one putting extra pressure onto them, because as far as the gameplay, you can put pressure on them. But if you can put pressure on the scoreboard, really make them have to feel like they need to put additional pressure, get them out of position, that's when Aipx has been at their best.
Absolutely, as this one's going to be floated on the Aipx side. A shot opportunity coming. He puts us off the backboard. The double commit there will be able to be pinched out, though, with 3:45 left to play. Both of these teams, this one feels a lot different. Both teams have really been going for more scoring opportunities, and which has been leading for more defensive mishaps as this one gets floated over. Another freebie if they can get there, but Wailu hunts this one down and blocks it from behind.
Yeah, does a great job on the defensive there, doing just enough to disrupt the shot. And now we've got a ball that's kind of floating in front of the Aipx goal. Nice demo that we just saw there, buying additional space from ATK, but doesn't look like they're going to be able to capitalize. Now all back to 3 as the ball moves back into Aipex's side of the territory. Actually, nice job by Shadow to keep things alive. Unfortunately, Lackstar loses out on their contest, but the ball's still going to be heading into the ATK half of the pitch.
Absolutely, as this one gets floated up, the double top opportunity is they're just going to bail on that one, just allow their teammates to push up a little bit more. Now an opportunity from Galaxy, just trying to float this one in, but doesn't get it challenging enough to be able to force Aipx out of position. Off the corner now, they're playing corner to corner, just trying to get Aipx a little bit more out of position, but finally buying the time. The pass infield, the shot opportunity, but Wailu once again able to turn that one away. But Aipx is up in the air, but gets beat here, but now finally able to find their stamp back on this offensive half.
We're going to be seeing here, nice touch over, but a good save here again. We keep mentioning that name, Wailu, coming in with some big defensive plays. This time, though, Wailu doesn't have any boost to make a play. That ball's left in front of the net. Nice touch there by Galaxy, though, to be able to stand firm. That keeps things at 1-1. Nice save on the opposite side of the pitch even here, as well as Shadow going to try and turn defense into offense. You've got Wordy on the backside, which means you should have the man advantage. But, man, Wailu again coming up clutch for ATK.
Absolutely. They've just been a menace on this defensive half, just able to get anything and every save. As now another booming clear as Shadow's just stealing all the boost on that side of the pitch. Good luck trying to find some as a shot opportunity comes off the post and the save just a little bit too far. You hate to see that one happen, but another opportunity gets floated in. A mishap here as the dunk does not get to go on this first touch. And now Wailu just tries getting this one out, but not successful as Shadow's pushing the pace back in. Has 20 boost, can make something happen, but Galaxy just getting underneath the skin and able to put this one back to the corner.
Seeing here, I mean, Aipx able to keep the pressure in this half of the pitch. They're just not able to find any real good, quality shots, right? But the important thing is you're keeping control of the ball. You're keeping it away from ATK, who really needs the win, obviously, more than Aipx, right? Because if Aipx does happen to fumble and drop it here, you still have game 5 for redemption. You don't have that same quality on the other half of the pitch. 55 seconds left here. Now at this point, as ATK looks to go the opposite way, able to get just enough of the ball to be able to avoid the second touch here. Blackstar goes the opposite way until the demo comes in from Galaxy, but you did have enough momentum on that ball to be able to at least keep it up into that ATK half of the pitch. 37 seconds. This is too close to call here, Puma.
Absolutely. As this one gets floated off to the corner, it looks like it's going to be Blackstar on the other side. Scratch that, it's original, as now they're trying to work their way in. Now, we're forcing it into the corner here. 50 boost in the tank from Shadow, trying to make something happen. Take themselves around one, trying to get the 50 on Wailu. Gets the touch there, as this one's working its way in. Original not able to get it around Wurtzy, though, as Wurtzy comes up big as the last defender, as ATK pushes the pace once again, but Shadow cuts this one off. The next one there is going to be ATK. It's going to be a 50, though, as this one gets floated up. This one's going to go hard down, and we are going to be going into overtime here.
Overtime for game number 4. Here we go. Looks like Aipx is going to be able to at least win the draw, but very quickly goes the opposite way. Golden goal opportunity. There's no time frame that gets played out. We just need to find the back of the net. That's going to be a shot that does go just a bit tall there. Not going to be able to find the back. Galaxy going to be out of boost, so not really going to be able to do much with that there. Lackstar tries to at least get a clear. Moves things into the opposite half of the pitch. It's going to be in front of the goal, but no one able to follow up. Again, ATK standing firm.
Absolutely, as 30 seconds have gone by in this overtime, both teams trying to find the answer to be able to get this 1-2 on their side, as this one gets floated high and around, but Galaxy able with a beautiful touch. The double commit here, though, is able to get a shot opportunity, as it just gets saved, made by Wurtzy, but it's still controlled by Aipx here, as they're working their way into the corner. Wurtzy not able to get around one, as now this one gets floated back in, but Galaxy once again just gets a nice touch. It's a shot opportunity, as Willow is just going to be able to just take this one away halfway into the goal line, and it does not matter, as they're able to find the answer.
That ball, I think, was more than halfway across. That thing was just about the end of the series. Would have been seeing Aipx getting the bye at the start of the bracket stage, but instead, we go on. Instead, it looks like Wailu made the same, tries to put a shot on the goal, isn't going to be able to connect, but you do see the ball is still floating in front of that Aipx goal. Does look like, at least for now, there's going to be a 50-50, able to avoid the touch from Wailu. Now might be able to make something happen. That's going to come off the side. Oh, not going to be able to make anything happen this time around, but I feel like Aipx is just on the brink.
Absolutely, as both teams have been inching closer to the net. Both teams have an opportunity to flip reset off the post, and it's going to go out to the side, and it will not go in. Both teams cannot buy a goal right now, as this one gets floated back in off the back post. The Shadow just takes this one away, and now Wailu is there once again, just trying to kill this one, and the opportunities are starting to mount from each side. The clears are going to matter more, as Galaxy is going to be able to cut this one off, but Shadow cuts their cut, and now they're trying to turn this one into an offensive prowl, as this one out of the corner, the pass over to the middle, but no one is home for the pass to connect.
Yeah, I don't know who that was that came across the screen there, but they were just a tad bit behind. Otherwise, that would have been a beautiful shot. Contest coming in here. Very well done to be able to spit it up to the cross. Other side of the pitch is in front of the goal. Let's go, Blackstar. That's what I'm talking about. Able to find the back of the net. There is going to be no fourth series. That's going to be a clean sweep through Group D for Aipx Gaming.
And that is just a tough break for ATK, almost playing a perfect series, only allowing, I think the most they allowed was, what, 3? And you're still not going to be able to make it off of one miscalculation in the corner, one of the toughest reads in the game, and it comes back to immediately bite you. Aipx will get the first round bye. Aipx has control of their destiny, and Aipx has struck the hearts of Group Stage D.
You know, I had told you heading in, I thought that the eye test told us that Aipx Gaming was the 3rd best team in the region. The team that they just played, statistically and by the rankings, is your 3rd best team in the region. And to say it wasn't close wouldn't be fair, but it definitely felt like Aipx was very much in control, except for when they let it slip away.
Absolutely. You know, Aipx, and hats off to ATK there. It was a beautiful defensive series from them. They did a phenomenal job, and it really made Aipx really just sweat out every single shot, every single opportunity. It did not matter how good the shot was. It didn't matter how powerful it was. It didn't matter anything. ATK almost had an answer for everything, and that was just a beautiful series from start to finish.
And we don't have much of the playoffs bracket just quite yet filling out. We still have some more of these third round games still going on. But one thing that I can't help but notice looking at things, and that's the fact that obviously with being in first place, we're going to be in the in that position I talked about earlier. We're in the semifinals, being able to face off against Limitless, but potentially Nixa, who is sitting in fifth, could be our quarterfinals matchup. So it kind of comes full circle back to what we've been talking about all day, right? That 3 to 7 range right now in the rankings, about to get a little bit muddy here, because I think we're going to be seeing some of these top games. Obviously, ATK, who's currently in third, going to have to fight through round one. But also, then also even Nixa is going to have to go through Aipx to get to the semifinals.
Absolutely. This was a great day for Rocket League, and as you've alluded to as well, Nixa did take game number 1 on White Rabbit Gaming here, so they have a little bit of the advantage. So that's a very close series and something to keep an eye on. And after if I was here, if I was watching these series unfold, I would be trying to make my way and try finding a way to watch that series unfold, as that's going to be very decisive for all the standings. Both of them at 2-0 right now. That one is going to have probably the most impact on through the first round of playoffs.
Yeah, and I mean, you also got to remember that Nixa White Rabbit game, that's your third and tied for third and fifth seed in the rankings, right? So that does shift things up. But I was saying Nixa might face us if Nixa ends up winning against White Rabbit Gaming, who is this, point standing as ATK, could be the opponent again. We're talking about being able to knock those teams out early. I love the fact that Aipx Gaming right now is in a position heading into tomorrow where they really truly control their destiny.
Absolutely. It's just a great sight to see. It's something that we alluded to earlier in the bracket, and for a reason, as this is exactly how it's played out today. This is going to be a great weekend for some Rocket League action, and we are very excited to be able to see everyone tomorrow. And Q, do you have anything that you want to say to the audience before we disperse?
No, I just got to say, man, if y'all are new in here and y'all haven't already hit the like button on the video, make sure you do that, because that does help us as far as on the algorithm. But also hit the subscribe button, turn those notifications on so we can catch y'all back for tomorrow. Of course, we only get to stream the group stages over here on the channel, so you'll have to catch us on the main broadcast. But I know I will be waking up cheering on the boys tomorrow. It's a little earlier for me than folks in the region, so like midday for the SSA region, but a lot of fun. And this had to be fun for you too, right, Puma?
Absolutely. My first time jumping in the booth with you, and first time being able to fully experience Aipx at its peak. A great job by them. I had so much fun with this series. It was just a lovely day for Rocket League, and it's going to be even better tomorrow and Sunday as well.
All right, chat. So make sure y'all are tuning in tomorrow, cheering on the boys as they look to prove that they are top 4 in the region. That's Puma. I'm Q. Until we catch y'all back over here on the Aipx channel, man, with everything crazy going on in the world today. Be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard. All right, y'all. It's your boy Q, signing out.
never find the right words. And there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl. So I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. Going with the gut, never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective.